last time, just gonna give a brief breakdown of what happened last time. So last time you guys left the winery escorting the sons of the Marketovs towards the winery, and you made it there with no real incidents there. As they were approaching, they threw up the Kresik guards, threw open the gate. They were definitely waiting for that wine to arrive. The burgomaster of Kresik welcomed you as well and congratulated you on completing that task, and he is willing to let you in whenever you need to be let in the future. And you asked him a few questions, kind of like to get a feel of what's going on there. You need to go up to the abbot and stuff like that, up to the abbey to meet the abbot. You noticed that he seemed a little bit put off, or not a little bit put off, but a little bit uncaring about the fact that his son was sick, which you found out a little bit later the reason why on that. But you made your way up to the abbey. You met with the abbot, who was, on the way in there, you noticed that there were, particularly the guards of the abbey, are somewhat malformed creatures known as mongrel folk, and you were able to convince them to let you see the abbot. And when you met the abbot, you see this kind of like very handsome looking guy and in abbot clothing, who is helping what seemed to be some sort of stitched together monstrosity of a woman. She was not bad looking, but just like you had all these parts from different bodies attached to her. Essentially, you could barely tell it was. He had done a really good job of finding matching body parts, but it was still visible that this was a flesh golem of some sort that he had created, and he was teaching it manners like how to eat and how to do different things of a noble type persuasion. But she wasn't doing very good at it. You kind of talked to the abbot, kind of finding more about the situation, what was going on with the mongrel folk, trying to decide whether or not this was a good place to leave Arena. Learn more about his coming to this land about 100 years ago and trying to help the people there, the Bellevues, who are the mongrel folk, and not being very successful at that. But he was attempting to find a way to end the curse for Strahd, and his belief was that Strahd needs to find his true love, since he was denied that love with Tatiana way back when. He was trying to make Strahd a replacement, and during the course of the conversation, you mentioned that, or he was brought out to you that because of the land being cursed, when people die, their souls are trapped in this land, but the souls will be reincarnated, but there's not enough souls to go around. So a certain amount of the percentage of the people are born soulless, and so that causes some kind of distinct characteristics. They are a bit less feeling than others, a bit more emotionless, and maybe lack some empathy and stuff like that. So that kind of taught you kind of like what might be happening with that burgomaster. Um, but it also brought to mind a very interesting idea, which was that potentially, since Strahd was chasing Arena, that maybe she had Arena or Tatiana's soul in her, and so the abbot did go and look at her and kind of conferred to you that that was most likely the case, which then kind of created an issue because you could see the wheels turning in the abbot's mind of maybe presenting Arena to Strahd, and so you quickly persuaded him that that probably wasn't the best idea, and kind of shot down that before he got too involved in that idea. The abbot, you could glimpse parts of his power. He was suppressing some angelic power from underneath his normal human facade, and so you didn't really want to tangle with him, so you were trying to do so in a very diplomatic way of getting him off that topic. You were able to successfully to help him get off the topic, and you did tell him about the kid that was sick in the village, and he was more than helpful to help that willing to help the kid, but you had to get a wedding dress, and the burgomaster's wife could help you with that. So you went back down to get a wedding dress for this flesh golem that he is making for Strahd, and come to find out that they do have connections with the Vallaki, those in Vallaki, to go get the wedding dress. But she was really needing help with the boy right then and there because he wasn't going to make it for much longer. And so you went and got the abbot. He was able to cure the boy right away. But now this has locked you into this idea of getting this wedding dress as a favor to the abbot, one that you potentially don't want to go back on. From there, you learned that there was a pool in Kresik that potentially could souls could travel through or could see the other side from, and so you decided to take Arena there just to see what would happen if she was, actually Tatiana, whether her soul could be reunited outside of Vallaki or out of Borovia. And as you approached the pool, she heard the voice whispering to her, and as she approached, she saw the images of Sergei, Strahd's brother that he had killed, looking out at her and reaching out for her. And she took his hand and he pulled her in, and you saw her kind of look more and more like Tatiana. And little, Arena and Tatiana are very similar in looking because they share the same soul, but it was definitely more Tatiana than Arena. And she remembered Sergei, and you see them disappear from sight. And as that happened, the storm clouds began to come up over the pool, and you heard the sound of Strahd angrily yelling about how she was his, and that this he would not stand this slight against him, and so he shot down a lightning bolt into the pool, knocking you guys backwards, but also destroying whatever magic was in the pool. However, the spirit of Arena slash Tatiana is free of Borovia, um, which is most likely going to incur the wrath of Strahd, more so than what is already out there. So from there, you went back to the Burgomaster's wife. Got the she got you, since you were able to heal her son. She got you a note to take with you to Vallaki that would most likely allow the Burgomaster of Vallaki's wife to give you the dress, no problem. But with all nobles, you might have to do some sort of request for them in order to get 100% on that. And you started heading back towards Vallaki the next morning after taking a sleep at the inn. And you made your way back to Vallaki, and with little to no difficulty getting back there. And that's where we're starting up, is just outside of Vallaki. You can see the city in the distance, heading up, passing by again, once again, that road that leads off to the Vistani camp as you continue moving towards the town gates.
Excellent. Are you streaming, Alex?
Yeah.
That is weird.
Is it not showing up on stream?
No, it's not showing up in Discord.
Oh, sorry. No, I'm sorry. I need to do that in Discord. My apologies. There you go.
There we go. Perfect. Yeah, I guess we're heading off to the Vlakoviches.
Okay, so we'll just continue toward the town. Is that correct?
Yep, sounds like a plan.
Okay. So you make your way past those houses that are all but vacated. These houses, of course, like I mentioned before, definitely have slashes and cuts in them, similar to the ones that the Burgomaster Borovia had seen around his house. So they're definitely wolf and werewolf tormentors, and no one now lives outside the gates anymore. Most of all these houses appeared abandoned. So, and then
werewolves, you said. Interesting.
Potentially, you see the claw marks same kind of claw marks you saw on the Burgomaster's house back in Borovia.
What? I can't. I'm sorry. I just can't get the stream to play for me. I can't figure out why. All I see is two blue squares circling each other.
Are you having that same problem, Baralek?
Yeah, I'm not sure. So it's not just me?
It's working for me.
Okay, well, I turned it off and went back on, see if it'll work. Did that work for you?
Unfortunately, not. Sorry.
Maybe try.
Hold on a second. Let me click stop watching. Watch stream. Nope, nada.
Let's
Maybe
see.
try.
Could be my internet. It's probably just me. My shitty internet, but I'm not really. There we go. I got it. Thank you.
Okay.
Or you got it. Say.
Okay, great. So yeah,
Alright.
so you guys make it through the gates. The guards, welcome you back to Vallaki, doing their signature "all is well" reminder as they go through. Kind of more of a reminder to you that you need to make sure you're doing that, and less of like they felt like they were genuinely giving you the "all is well" symbol. The "all is well" symbol, of course, being your kind of a W sign made out of your fingers. Your first
All is
three.
well.
So as you make your way into town, it's still Vallaki. Everybody seems to be, moving about the day. Although there seems to be a bit more gloom on people's faces. You definitely see, those ruins of the St. Andrew's Church as you come up there. And you pass by that. There's still people that are walking by, and they kind of slow down and look at the ruins with kind of a bit of disgust or just like sadness in their eyes as they pass by. Yeah, you haven't really asked anybody where the Burgos Master's house is yet, so you want to
Oh.
get directions, or are you just walking
Yeah.
back to the Blue Water Inn? Because you do know where that's
If there's, I guess we can try asking one of the passerbyers, or if there's a guard passing by.
Okay, yeah, so closest to you is just an old man kind of walking with a cane, and he's kind of hunched over a little bit.
He looks like he knows. He's been here a while. Let's ask that guy.
All is well.
So, so yeah, so what do you say to him?
Good sir, we're looking for the Vlakovich's estate, the Burgermaster's estate. Would you be able to have directions for us?
So you see him stop and then kind of lift his head and look you over, looking over each of you in turn, and then he turns back. You see him kind of like mashing his gums together as he does so. Yes, I know the burgomaster Valakovich. What do you want to go to his house for?
We were invited there, and we have a favor to ask of him as well.
Oh, were you now invited there to the Valakoviches? Whoop-de-doo. That sounds fantastic. Yeah, what you want to do is you want to take, and he turns and points his cane in the direction back to this road that you can see here that takes off to the right. You want to take that road and you want to follow it on around. You're going to see this huge mansion that's more than most people can afford in their entire lives, and that's where that Valakovich fellow lives.
Why, thank you, good sir.
Oh, you're
Much
welcome.
appreciated.
You're welcome.
All is well.
Although don't say that shit to me. I don't want to hear that.
You got some gumption, I'll give you that.
I'm 70 years old. I don't care what they do to me if I don't say that nonsense. All is most certainly not well. And then he
Alright,
starts.
let's leave before
He
we get
just
killed.
starts moving on forward. And you do see a couple of people who are nearby, younger people, kind of like their faces kind of go pale at hearing him, and they're looking around to see if any guards or anything notice that. But he doesn't seem to pay them any mind.
Love that guy.
So, yeah, you follow along kind of what he's doing, what he told you to do. Take a right up the thing, start heading down the main road here. About 3/4 of the way down the road, as it's coming up to another intersection, you do see a very big mansion, bigger than the rest of the houses and stuff like that. Although you do see that that's kind of the back end of it, so you see kind of through the houses that it has an approaching spot on a round. So instead of cutting through people's yards, you decide to make your way all the way around. And you start seeing some of the shops along this main strip. One in particular catches your eye because you've seen it before, listed on the on a doll in the death house. there was an inscription on the doll, is no fun, is no Blinsky. And you see the sign on this toy store as Blinsky's Toys.
Curiosity is piqued. I think we come back there afterwards.
Blinsky. Blinsky? Or
Blinsky.
Blimsky?
Blinsky.
Blinsky. Okay, gotcha.
Blinsky.
Blinsky.
So you make your way around, and you make your way up to where the house is, and slowly approach and see this very nicely manicured lawn and very nice kept house. It's a 3-story house, or well, 2 stories with an attic story up there. But it's a very nice, very big house as you approach. Okay, so to that.
That's kind of fun to say. Blinsky. It's more fun to say Blimsky, but it's just a fun word to say. I don't know why. Blimsky. 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 I'm just saying this out loud in character. Blimsky.
You're just saying that the whole 3 or 4 minutes it takes you to walk from Blinsky's to the house.
You guys, I'm just talking to my party. You guys just try saying Blimsky. It's really fun to say. Blimsky. Huh? That was Blinsky, but with an N, not an M. But the M is so much more fun to say. It makes the whole word Blimsky. I'm not 12. Blimsky.
Good marketing.
Blimsky. It's annoying yet? On first try? Okay, I'll stop for now. For now.
So. Oh, and Pigwin, I was able to get your model in that you made that one time. You now look like you wanted to.
So,
Blimsky. Wait, curse word. Oh, Blimsky.
Okay. Blimsky. You see Stumbleduck turn around and stare you dead in the eyes. Say Blinsky one more time.
Oh, it's a fun word, but fine.
All right, so who's knocking on the door? Who's presenting themselves first?
You want to go for it, Jack?
Whoever has the highest AC, I nominate that person.
I'm hoping we're not busting down the door and looking for a fight here.
Yeah, but this is still Borovia. Just to be on the safe side. It couldn't hurt, you know what I mean? Couldn't hurt.
I'll go first. Okay. I'm not afraid. My 10 AC. Yeah,
well, I already died, so I'm pretty scared.
I'll knock on the door and introduce ourselves as the group that attempted to save the church.
Okay. All right. So even though it's a very nice house with manicured lawn, you can tell that the mansions of the walls are plastered stone that display many scars from the plaster has fallen away from age and neglect. Drapes cover over every window, including a large arched opening above the mansion's double entrance doors. As you go up and knock on the door, you see, after a few minutes, a maid comes and opens the door. You see her kind of just open the door a little bit, not all the way, and she kind of pokes her head out. Yes?
Greetings. We were given an invitation to meet the Valakoviches by, I forget the guy's name.
Burgomaster Vallaki.
No, the guy with the weird arm there.
Oh, Izek. Yes, Izek.
Yeah, Izek gave us an invitation to see the Burgomaster. We're here to take him up on his offer.
Did he now? And what's actually I do remember him saying something about strangers coming in, and I asked him how I would know who they were, and he said, "You'll know." And I have to say that's pretty true. So she then says, "Give me just a minute. I need to let Master Velakovich know that you are here. 1 second." And she closes the door, and then you hear her kind of stomp away, and a few minutes later she comes back, opens the door. "Yes, he would like for you to meet in the den. He'll be in there in just a moment down to meet with you." And so she kind of invites you in.
Thank you kindly.
So, as you come into the entrance hall, you see framed portraits adorning the walls of the grand foyer, which features a wide staircase with sculpted railing. A long carpeted hall attached to the foyer stretches almost the length of the entire mansion and has several doors leading away from it, including one at the far end. There are tons and tons of bundles of twigs that are heaped along the walls.
That's odd. I asked the maid, what's with all the twigs?
Oh, yes. That is for the Festival of the Sun. Currently, Lady Lady Velakovich is entertaining guests who are spinning them into the effigy that will be used during the ceremony.
See,
You guys, is just to celebrate the sun, or does it have a different purpose?
No, this is another festival in an attempt to uh, appease the Morning Lord so that the Morning Lord will once again shine bright and push back Strahd's dominion. This will be the
Okay.
700th festival we've had.
Hmm.
see.
Right. How's that working out? So, oh, never mind. I shouldn't. Never mind.
She just kind of looks and stares, like knowingly, yeah, like, huh. If you would, she points to a door. Inside here is the den. If you'll just go in there, you'll, Master Velakovich will be down shortly.
Excellent. Thank you.
Okay, so she ushers you into the den. The den, or the parlor, I should say. Actually, no, it's a den. Sorry. Padded chairs and couches line the walls of this cozy carpeted den. The room reeks of pipe smoke, and mounted on the east wall is the head of an angry-looking brown bear. So, all in here.
I'd be angry too if I was mounted on the wall.
Probably. I mean, that seems like a reasonable response to being mounted.
Yeah.
You know, guys, I'm not sure why people are still trying to rely on this morning sun lord dude. Like, he's clearly like either doesn't care or he's too weak or like, you know, people start
That's
relying on themselves. It's probably be not as bad, but almost just as bad. I'm just saying, every little would help in this place. Like
let's
700 times? Like, come on now.
let's maybe not mention that to the burgomaster. I don't think he'd take kindly to it.
Yeah, I know, but you're just wasting their supplies at this time. Like 700? How many years do you need to take? Or how many years does it take to get to 700? Like 700? Like, my God.
There's a lot of festivals.
I mean, it's all fun to eat and drink, and like that's all that's good and all, but like, it doesn't really, for bringing back a Sun Lord. Like, I don't need an excuse to eat or drink. I mean, I don't do that no more, but I would. I think no, I think I could if I wanted to.
So you technically do need an
I could if
excuse.
I wanted to. Yes, I'm just saying. It doesn't work. I should do their time. Use productive. Do something where their time is more productive. I'll shut up now.
Okay. So after a few minutes, you guys are kind of just sitting in the room, kind of waiting on the burgomaster, and it seems, having this conversation with Dead Guy, it seems like the burgomaster is specifically taking his time to be like a fashionably late kind of scenario, because like you feel like you've been sitting there for at least 15 to 20 minutes waiting on him to come down. Eventually, the doors open, and in walks Baron Vargas Velakovich, burgomaster of Vallaki. With him, following right by his heels, are two big mastiff dogs that come in behind him. And as he enters, he says, "All is well. Welcome, friends. Welcome, friends." And he does his kind of forward salute of his W as he comes in, and then he kind of comes in and just sits down on one of the chairs, one of these like little comfy chairs, and the dogs come in and kind of take up residence around him, both kind of like sitting there, kind of staring at you guys with just kind of their big, mushy faces looking at you.
All's
Welcome.
well.
Yes, indeed, all is well. So, Ezek has told me about your heroics at St. Andrew's. Shame about that. What brings you here today to my lovely home?
Well, we're actually hoping to ask a favor of you. It may be an odd request, but
Oh, I've
we're
heard
in
them
search
all.
of. Well, I'll try you. We're in search of a wedding dress.
A
You see, for
wedding
the abbot.
dress.
Yes, and we've got this letter here.
Let me see. And then he kind of he doesn't get up. He kind of waves for you to bring it to him.
I will acquiesce.
Okay. So you bring it to him. As you do, you see the two big heads of the dogs kind of go in like they're gonna sniff you. You don't see them growl or anything, but they are very intimidating nonetheless. And so he takes the letter and then he pulls out a little monocle and he starts looking over it. And then he turns it. He puts his monocle back and then hands the paper back to you. And starts rubbing his chin. Yes, yes. I believe we can accommodate. So the abbot or the burgomaster of burgomaster's wife, I should say, of Kresik, wants us to depart with my wife's lovely wedding dress, and I suppose, considering what you've done for her, that could be accomplished. Though I'm seeing that there might be a little bit more needed for such a transaction here. I'm wondering if you could do something for me.
What would you have in mind?
Well, I've heard of your heroics from Izek, and I've heard about what you've done for them. You seem to be well stout adventurers, not afraid of a little bit of danger and risk. Have you heard of the Amber Temple?
Yes. In
Yes, so
where was that?
the abbot had told you about this as a place that was in the mountains south, far to the south, where Strahd eventually got his real power from.
Right.
It was once overlooked by clerics who were kind of protecting or kind of watching over the bad gods that were hidden there. But after Strahd took over, they were wiped out, and so now it's kind of a den of evil, essentially. Um, well, he says, good, then I don't need to explain much on that. I can only let you kind of like, I can't really emphasize how much that there might be relics of value there that would help boost the economy of Vallaki. Not that we need it all as well, but any more wealth that we could have would boost the spirits of those here in Vallaki, and we could do so much more for the citizens with that wealth. So, my request to you is that you perhaps make an expedition down there. You would take Izek along with you, of course, and a few of his men with a cart, and you would get to keep a percentage of the gold and items that were found there.
Yeah, that sounds not bad at all. We were kind of hoping to go there at some point ourselves.
Oh, then it seems that fate has worked in our favor here. Absolutely, that is fantastic here. Isn't that just great, Roger? And he starts petting one of the mastiffs. Oh, let me introduce my mastiffs to you. This is Roger, and this is Hammerstein.
I go up and I pet him.
Hammerstein. That's a fun word to say too. Hammerstein. That's fun as Limsky, but
You just
it's still, still a fun word to say.
Stumbleduck just kind of stomp on your foot, and he gives you a look.
Oh, throw a sense of humor, Jesus, or some Lord. I don't know.
I do want to ask the Burgermaster if he'd mind if we made a stop at Varese on our way there, as we have some business there too.
Perez, well, that's quite a bit out of the way. There's no way to get there. You know, the quickest way and easiest way to get there would be to take the long road that's south. The Perez road doesn't quite go there, you see. It's up in the mountains, and we need to go up and not down. Perez is in the lowland, you see.
I'm trying to look at the map. So what's he referring to?
So, okay, so if we pull the map up here.
I thought it was south.
It is. So if you see, so just west of the Vallaki, there's that little bridge, and then you see the road and turns into dots. That is the road down to Berez. So that road hasn't been used. It goes down into a valley. That's why it's all flooded, because it's falling along the river. What he's talking about is if you go further on west, there's that big road that kind of like a full line road that wiggles down through the mountains and across the bridge down there, and goes further south. Do you see that one?
Yeah, I'd like to. Can I try to persuade him that we go south to the Varese and then west to catch the road at that point, and then south?
Well, the cart won't do well to go there. You see the hills there. He kind of shows you on your map as you're kind of looking things over. You see where the ruins of Berez, they kind of sit in the shadow of the mountain there, kind of in a low level plain, whereas that pass goes up into the mountains, and it's a bit of an incline there. I don't think we can get the cart up that way. Otherwise, we would take it that way, because it would be a shortcut.
Fair enough. I thought I would ask.
Just trying to get my head around the situation. We're heading to one of the most likely dangerous places in Borovia, an already dangerous place, for a wedding dress, right?
Yeah, but I don't feel like we should piss off the abbot.
I tell you what. So
The side stuff's pretty good. I'm just saying, just venting. That's all. No
I tell you
offense
what.
intended.
So, as long as I get your word that you will return within a few days' time to undergo this this trek with my men and reclaim this treasure, I will give you the wedding dress ahead of time as kind of a show of good faith, I should say.
That would save us quite a bit of time. That would be appreciated.
Indeed. But know this, that if you make a bargain, I expect you to honor it. If not, I will have my men searching for you.
I
Along
wouldn't
with
expect
Roger
you
and
to do anything
Hammerstein
else.
here. Yes, good puppies.
Wouldn't expect any less.
I feel like saying all is well shouldn't be like the greeting. It should be just a death threat. It's like everybody just gives us death. I think actually we didn't do hello, just a death threat, because every time we talk to somebody, they give us one. Actually, we didn't do hello there. Just I'm gonna kill you. Like, okay, great, good seeing you too.
You
It was an ultimatum.
are you saying that aloud?
Yes.
All
So I'm
right.
an idiot.
boy.
So you
Before he
see
speaks.
him. He's in the middle of stroking like one of his dogs, and then you see him stop, and he slowly turns his head toward you, and you see his eyes begin to squint as they stare daggers at you. Are you dare questioning my particular way of handling these issues that we're facing?
There's a difference
Choose
between questioning
your words wisely.
and venting.
Yeah, careful, Jack.
Well,
Careful.
everybody stop interrupting me. I could say it. I'm not questioning. I'm venting. The difference. I'm still gonna do it, obviously, Venting makes me feel better.
So
I'm
he
gonna
kind of
do
turns
it.
his back to his dog's petting again. The last person who vented their concerns spent several days in the stocks. Just so you know.
What's a stock? I'm sorry, I don't know what that is.
So the
Is like
stocks are kind of like these old timey things where they would put them in. Maybe Barrelak can get present a picture for you, but
Yeah.
they're made out of wood typically, and you kind of have your head and your arms through these little holes, and they kind of keep you in place. And people come up. It's kind of like a humiliation punishment essentially, and you have to
Oh,
stand there for
I
several
know. I
days.
know you're talking about now.
Yep,
Like the three, like the one big hole for the head and two small
correct.
holes for the arms. I remember now. They're made of wood, aren't they? Though.
They are made of wood. Yes.
Yeah, I'll just keep that comment to myself for a change.
Okay. All right. And so he says it out there, and after a minute he goes back and looks back at the rest of you, not really looking at you, dead guy, anymore. He's kind of looking at the rest of you. So,
Yeah, fair enough.
what's if we are in agreement, then I will definitely give you the wedding dress, as long as like I said, put your word out there that you will return. I will give you 5 days to return.
Excellent. That sounds quite reasonable.
How long does it normally take to get there?
To get there, I'm estimating you left early in the morning. You could potentially
Right.
get there by the next midday the next day. Those mountain areas are a bit more treacherous and harder to going, so I would say you could make it to potentially the bridge that leads across that lower canyon by the sundown, and then pick up from there in the morning and head on to the temple in the morning, reaching it by probably midday.
Okay. Okay.
Now,
Fair
those
enough. Fair
mountains
enough.
do get awful cold too, so I would be providing you, on loan, of course, I'd be providing you some cold weather gear and all that.
Appreciate
I
it.
do want to ask him.
Can I feel
Once
cold?
what's that?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. I'll just talk to myself. My bad. My bad.
It's all good. I do ask him if he'd mind if we parted ways from what is it, Isaac? Um, at Kresik on our way back, just so that we can continue on to some other business we have. So we'll do his task, but we'll part ways from Isaac right outside of Kresik, and Isaac can deliver the goods.
Indeed, that would be acceptable as long as you were able to get those valuables back safely, and that would be close enough that Isaac could handle the rest of it. Then yes, that would be agreeable.
Excellent, excellent. As we've said, we have a deal.
Ah, indeed, indeed, excellent. So, what will you be doing within that time frame that I've given you extra time? Will you be joining us for the festivities tomorrow?
What do you guys think? I'm kind of leaning towards moseying on to get this journey started.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, let's do my time something productive like action. Always a good time. Always fun.
Yeah, so
Understandable, but you're gonna miss a heck of a show. We're going to burn an effigy of Strahd right in the town square, in the market square.
Oh, really? Is that like the
Yes.
whole thing, or do like, what's? Tell me everything about the festival. What do you do at the festival? I'm curious.
Well, we will have this giant effigy made out of those twigs you saw out there that looks like Strahd, and we all take torches and set this Strahd effigy on fire, showing that we are not afraid, that we
Mm.
are the Morning Lord's faithful servants, and that all is well here in Vallaki, and from there, the Morning Lord will be overjoyed that we have not lost faith in him, and the skies will open, and we will get once again bathed in the bright light of the Morning Lord's grace.
Is this the first time you've held this festival?
This particular festival, yes.
Oh, okay, all right. Oh, I was just curious.
You
No
see.
particular reason.
Ah, yes. Okay.
Yeah, I still think we should head off on the journey in case we experience unexpected delays.
Ah, always busy. Yes, I totally understand that. Quite busy myself, by the way, so I will bid you adieu and get back to the things that I have to do. And you see him, you don't see him get up like he's actually got things to do. You do see him pull out a bottle of wine from underneath the table and open up the wine and pour him a glass. And he starts to swish it as he's waiting for you to leave. And he's just petting his dogs.
We'll take our leave, I guess.
Indeed, all is well.
All is well.
He holds it there, waiting for each of you to respond in kind.
I will definitely respond in kind.
All is well, says Dumbleduck as he starts to head out. So does So does Grimness. Kind of mumbles it as he goes out. And he's just kind of staring at you, dead guy, waiting for you to...
Oh yeah, all is well. Fuck.
You see a smile kind of creep up on his face, and then he goes back to...
Son of
He
a
lowers
blessing.
his hand and goes back to drinking his wine.
Oh, son of a Blimsky.
As you make your way out, make to the door, the maid automatically opens the door for you and lets you all out. You hear her closing the door behind you, and sliding what sounds like a wooden bolt into place, or a bolt or a door latch into place back there.
Friendly. So if we're leaving in the morning, do you guys want to check out that Blinksky store? We've got a bit of time today.
Blimsky. Blimsky. I want to meet Blimsky. Blimsky.
All right.
So, just so you know, today counts as one of the 5 days, so he's expecting you back at the end of the 5th day.
Fuck.
Oh, I see. Well, then maybe we may as well head
Let's
out.
Go. Meet Blimsky later.
Okay. All right. So
Blimsky. Blimsky. Oh, Blimsky. Let's do it.
Okay. So you guys leave this thing and start heading back towards. I'm assuming you're heading back to the gate to take the wedding. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to mention almost as if she was listening at the door. The maid has the wedding dress as you start to leave, and she hands it to you. Forgot to add that part.
Excellent.
Oh,
Excellent.
nice.
Thank you very much.
He has it all kind of bundled up but you can still tell it's a wedding dress because you can see some of the frills and stuff like that. He's got it nice and bundled for you.
Perfect. We'll pack it somewhere safe.
Okay, so from there you guys head back out of the Burgomaster's estate and head back to... I'm assuming you're heading back to the gate to head back to Krezik?
Well, to the Amber, I guess we need to meet up with Izek and then head out.
So that's what he was talking about in 5 days. He'd have you to 5 days to get come back and do this quest, not 5 days to complete it.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, why don't we head out with Izek on our way to Krezik, do a little pit stop at Krezik, then head south.
That mother Blimsker.
Oh, okay. So you're ready to do the thing. He was assuming you guys had other things to do beforehand, so he hasn't even told Krizik or Izek yet.
I see.
I mean, we do, but they're not really on a time limit, and this one is. So.
Well, we can make use of it. We can check out Blinksky then, and then we could also we could talk to the Walkers as well while we're here.
Yeah, because you had the guy that was following you, that was working for Lady Walker.
Yep. The very poor spy.
That Blimpsker.
Yeah, so maybe we will check out Blinksky then.
Okay.
All right.
So,
That's what I'm talking about.
All right. So you guys come up to the shop. The windows. It's kind of dark in there. It looks like he's kind of like lighting his shop with just candles and stuff in there, and the shutters are not all the way open, so you can't fully see in the store. But you do see that it's open. As you enter the store, you see this very rotund-looking man behind the counter. Let me see if I got this. Where you guys at? Here, down here. It's no longer there. What am I missing? Big win. His shop. Where did I put his shop?
Disappeared.
Uh, so
Sorry, I just need 1 second. The little one's getting upset. I think
Yeah.
she needs
Go ahead.
her feed there, so
Go
I'm
ahead
just
and
gonna
take
bring her
that.
to mom.
Yeah, go ahead and do that.
Yeah. Because she's gonna start crying. All right, I'm back.
I found it. So inside the shop, the cramped shop has a dark entrance portico above which hangs a wooden sign shaped with a rocking horse with with a bee engraved on both sides. Flanking the entrance are two arched, leaded framed windows. Through the dirty glass, you see jumbled displays of toys and hanging placards bearing the sign or the slogan, "Is no fun, is no Blinsky." As you enter, you see the very rotund-looking Blinsky, who is in kind of like what looks like a jester's outfit. But
Hey, Blimpsky. Sorry.
Yeah, he's in a kind of a jester's outfit as you kind of enter, and he has on his shoulder what looks like a pet monkey. And but you see him like turn to you and look. Oh, welcome, friends. Welcome to Blensky's.
Greetings. We've seen your works on our travels.
You've seen my work.
Yes, indeed, we have Blimpsky. Very, very interesting toys we've came across.
So what particular ones have you seen? And you kind of as he's saying that, you kind of look around the room and notice that the toys in here aren't exactly normal. You see one is a headless doll that comes with a sack of attachable heads, including one with its eye and mouth stitched shut. A miniature gallows completed with a trapdoor and a weighted hanging man. A set of wooden nesting dolls. As smaller each one gets, the older it gets until the innermost doll is a mummified corpse. You see a wooden string mobile of hanging bats with flapping wings. A wind-up musical merry-go-round with figures of snarling wolves chasing children in the place of prancing horses. A ventriloquist dummy that looks a lot like Strahd. A doll that looks remarkably like Arena Koliana.
Mm.
What did his the dolls? Were they just like normal looking, or were they creepy? How were they creepy? Do you remember? I don't remember.
The
All
headless
I remember is
doll.
Mm.
like the dolls that we saw in the death house. How did they look like again?
Oh, the one that you saw in the death house would looked pretty normal, except that it was covered in cobwebs. That kind of made it look like it had a wedding veil on.
Is that the one he made, or am I thinking about something
Yeah,
different?
that's the one. He had a Blinsky's tag on it. Yeah.
We
We
Yeah,
also
we
also
had
the rocking horse in the that looked like it said Bucephalus in the Mardikovs at the winery. The Blinsky.
yeah,
and and something
Blinsky.
at
We
the
saw a
orphanage too.
Hmm.
yeah, but we saw a couple Blinsky. We saw one in wearing dress, and then there's
Yeah.
another one in the rocking chair, and then God, what was that third one? It was something similar to a doll, I think, but a creepy one. You remember Berlick? My memory is so shit.
I can't recall. I think it was Voodoo Doll at the orphanage.
Potentially, I don't remember. I don't think it was a voodoo doll. It was more like a regular looking doll. Aside from the one, the rocking horse that said Bucephalus and looked like a nightmare horse, a nightmare horse. They all looked pretty normal, but compared to the ones that you're seeing now, they all looked fairly normal. Now these are kind of like a more twisted, kind of like mind kind of thing. Definitely
Mm.
horror aspects to him, is what it looks like. But you see the look on his face as he kind of goes over and he's smiling and it's like, was it this one? And he's like kind of like points at the headless doll with the interchangeable heads, or was it this one? And he points to the man or the ventriloquist that or the ventriloquist dummy that looks like
Uh,
Strahd.
oh no, Glimsky. Strangely enough, the ones we found were perfectly. What's the weird word they say? Normal. It had heads, had limbs. It was mostly clean, except for a few cobwebs. I'm sure it was just because it was just sitting there. It's all pretty and very unsimilar to the current work that surrounds me.
Ah, yes. Yes, those are from my older days when I had more customers. And you do notice that there's a layer of dust on a lot of stuff, especially some of the toys that haven't been used or bought. Um, and you kind of see his face kind of go glower for a second, but then the little monkey on his shoulder kind of like slaps him on the side of the face, and he turns and he's like, "Oh, sorry about that. Just remembering the old days when lots of toys were sold and Blinsky's was a household name. Not so much anymore."
Is
Uh,
there a reason your turn took a dramatic shit, what's the phrase? Turn, I guess.
you mean my new toys? Yes.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
My bad, my bad.
Well, you know, I kind of had inspiration from the Burgomaster. He says that the only
Hmm.
way to escape Borovia is to make everyone in town happy. But for some reason, all of the toys that I try to make now seem. I seem to have lost my edge. People say that they're all creepy, and I don't see it. I mean, is this creepy? And he goes over to the hangman's toy and kind of does the whole like it has like a little switch on it where it makes the man drop, and he's like, it's fun, right?
Ah, that actually does seem quite fun, and for the land that we live in, it's quite fitting and accurate. I don't say anything wrong with it personally. I think everybody else is just a bunch of haters, to be quite honest.
Well, thank you. I appreciate
Yeah,
that. Would you like
of
this
course.
one? It's only 9 copper.
Actually, I think I would like the shit, I'm not good with words. The musical ballet one, but it has the
Musical
wolves chasing.
merry-go-round. Uh huh.
Yeah, that one. I like that
Oh,
one.
that's a
How much
good
is that
one. That's a good one. He runs over and grabs it and starts winding it up, and so that the little merry-go-round they start to chase the wolves start to chase the boys, and it's even playing some fairly creepy music while it does so. And he's got a big smile on his face, like he just thinks that it's the best. Like he's hearing something whimsical, and he's kind of dancing to it a little bit. It's a good one. This one came to me in a dream.
That's perfect. How much is that one?
This one is 9 silver pieces. It has a bit more put into it, you see, mechanical parts and all that.
Yep, sold. That is sold. Where's
Oh,
my money
excellent.
inventory? Here it is.
Do you want me to wrap that up for you, or do you want to take it as
Yeah,
is?
sure, why not?
Oh,
Yeah, you
excellent.
just wrap it up.
Excellent.
Wrap it up.
So he goes over and pulls out of a sheet of kind of wrapping paper, and you notice that he puts it together, but it's like he does no idea what he's doing. So when he hands it to you, it just looks like a big clump of paper around a circular kind of object. But he's got a big
Perfect.
smile on
I
his
love it.
face. Thank you so much for shopping at Blensky's. Tell your friends.
Oh, absolutely.
What about the
Definitely.
rest of you? What can I get for you?
I just have questions, really.
Oh, questions. I can answer.
Yeah. Did anything change in your life when your toys started to change?
Now that you mention it, yes. Some time ago, there was this strange man who came in, and he was mostly kept himself covered and hidden, but had a very enchanting voice, you see. And he told me that my toys, and this was back when I was making the so-called good toys, as it were, he said something about how those toys needed improvement, and he stared at me with these eyes that were rapturous, and I felt that I could fall into them almost. And after that, when I suddenly came back to my senses, he was gone. And after that, I started having dreams of inspiration, and these are where my newest creations have come from. I thought they were doing good, but then people started to tell me they were creepy and horrifying. I think that's a bit harsh, but
Hmm.
Very, very harsh. Very unfair. You're just doing your best in these trying times, which is literally all the time. So that's Borovia.
Has this fellow ever visited you again?
no, actually, I've never seen him again.
Hmm.
But I have heard others talk of him in town. I believe the Burgomaster he's visited the Burgomaster a number of times.
I see. See.
There are dots with lines being connected to them.
uh, this monkey has nothing to do with this fellow, does he?
Oh no, 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 that was given to me by a good friend. His name is Piccolo, and he kind of plays with them, and the monkey gives him a little treat from his pouch. The monkey just kind of snags it up and starts chewing on it. Very happy little monkey.
Enough. Man, I wish we had stopped here before we went talk to the burgomaster.
Tell me about it.
Hmm. Okay, well, I don't. Do you have anything else to ask him, Jack or Pigwin?
What about all?
Oh yes. Unfortunately, that one's not for sale. That's a special request, you see.
So take a request.
Yes, I sure do. Do you have any ideas for toys that I can make you?
Oh man, not off the top of my head. But give me some time, and I'll come back, and I'm sure my creativity will blow your mind.
Okay, I would love to hear your amazing toy ideas.
So would I.
Who requested it?
Who requested the doll of this one? And he
Yeah.
points to Arena's, the one that looks like Arena. Well, that would be, what was his name again? He's the head god of this town. Izik, yes, he's the one. Comes in and orders one of these every week.
Oh, okay. That's really specific and frequent.
It is, and if I had more of a need, less of a need for money, I might be asking more about why he needs one every week. But as he's one of my only paying customers, I can't Can't really put a damper on that.
Does he purchase the Strahd as well?
No, just the one. That's all he wants is the one doll, and I've made it enough times. I get better and better. I mean, my first ones were a bit crude. I had to go. He kind of tells me what he wants it to look like, and I go by his wishes. And then whenever he picks it up, he tells me how much it matches his vision, and then he tells me what he wants changed about the next one, and so we're getting closer. He says. You do notice that it's not a perfect rendition of Arena. It's got a few small details that are off, but it's pretty close.
Any more questions for him, Big One?
It's just creepy.
Creepy.
Yeah, there's that vibe.
She means that in a good way. In a good way.
What do you mean it's creepy? He's like looking at the doll up and down. Is it the red hair? I mean, some people don't like red hair, but what about it is creepy? I mean, the nose could be a little bit more rounder, but is it the eyes?
I think it's the whole idea, the thing.
Oh, you mean that a very middle-aged man comes in and orders the same doll each time based upon some sort of vision he has in his head?
That would be exactly it.
I suppose, now that you mention it. But again, like, he is my only paying customer, so I'm not going to do too deep into that. Don't want to lose any more business than I have.
Can't fault the logic.
Nope, not at all. It pays the bills. It pays the bills.
Well, unless the rest of the party has any questions, I'm satisfied here.
I'm not gonna think of right now. By the way, your name's really fun to say. Blimpsky. I don't know why. Is that your first or last name?
Blinsky is Blinsky. They didn't give me a last name, so I just go by Blinsky. It's kind of a family name. My father was named Blinsky and just Blinsky, and my name is Blinsky, and I think his father's name was Blinsky, and we were all toy makers.
Aww. Do you have any siblings or anything like that?
No, just only children each time.
Blimpsky. I thought it'd be interesting. There's a bunch of Blimpskys running around. Blimpsky.
I like this one. He buys my toys and gets me.
Hey, it's worth getting.
Well, you got anything else for him, Jack?
Not right now, but I'm definitely coming back later, so I'm sure I'll think of something to ask.
Fair enough.
I don't suppose I might ask something of you. Did you ask me some questions? May I ask you something?
Might that be?
Absolutely.
Have you been around Borovia much? Outside Vallaki, I mean. You look like people who might have been outside of Borovia, or out of Vallaki.
A wee bit.
A wee bit, yeah. We have traveled. Not too much, but we're trying to, I guess.
Have you been to Strahd's castle?
Not yet.
Oh.
Have?
Okay. Well, if you do sometime plan to go there, I wonder if you could keep an eye out for something for me.
And what might that be?
I have heard wonderful tales of an invention that was done by a famous toy maker by the name of Fritz von Weirg. He was in some of Strahd's early party before Strahd became a vampire, and he had created a mechanical man of sorts, a toy of such intricacies that if I could just see this toy and see how it works, that I might be able to create one of my own and sell them for good money. Would you let me know if you happen to go there and see one of these people? And I don't know what I could pay you, but you would be indebted to me I would be indebted to you for forever.
So this toy, like, Was like a person or
He's more of a clockwork type man, kind of like the gnomes used to make, you see. I've heard it's
okay.
a masterpiece, you know. If you could
I
bring
like
him
it.
to me, I would very much like to meet this clockwork metal man, and might even put him to work in my shop if he would so like to.
It's a little scary thought, but if I find him, if I find him, I will definitely bring him here immediately.
Oh, he would be a grand attraction for Blenskis.
Kind of want to now that you described what he looks like. I kind of want to see it myself as well. It was a very interesting idea in my head. His parents.
We will do our best. We will do our best.
Excellent, excellent. That would be all I could ask for is your best.
That you shall have.
Right. So from
All
there,
right.
you guys are already starting to walk out as he goes back to kind of like letting the monkey get on the counter and play with him a bit. As he goes back to looking at some of the toys. Even the monkey seems to be turned off by some of the toys as he tries to get him to play with it.
I don't like that monkey.
The smart monkey.
I don't know about that monkey.
All right. So where are you
You
heading
guys,
now? You want to try to find the Walker's estate or what?
what do you guys think?
Are we going to watch it again? I forget. My memory's not good. I'm sorry.
I'm down to go there. I mean, we've got a little bit of time anyways, so
So you
might as well
met the
make use
two
of it.
you met the two Walker children who hang out at the Blue Waters Inn. You also saw that there was a man that was spying on you for Lady Wachter that was doing a poor job at it, but he was attempting to keep track of you at her wishes. So it might be worth your time to go and talk to her, but that's completely up to you.
Did the spy give us directions to her place?
No, but you do remember heading down from the orphanage past a somewhat large mansion similar to the Burgomaster's, not quite as grand, that you remember seeing the name Wachter etched into one of the posts nearby.
Sure. Let's check it out. Got a little bit of time, may as well.
You didn't think anything of it then because there's names on different houses, and so but now that it's kind of like at forefront of your mind, you remember seeing that. So you head back past the Blue Water Inn and start heading back towards the orphanage until you come across the Wachter house. So, as you approach, this house seems disgusted with itself. A slouching roof hangs heavy over furrowed gables, and moss covered walls sag and bulge under the weight of the vegetation that's growing on it. As you study the house's sullen countenance, you hear the edifice actually groan. Only then do you realize to the extent to which the house hates what it has become. And get Is that the correct entryway? Side. So the main road is like right over here, and so you have to kind of walk up the path to get to it. Okay, so you make your way around, and you see that the entrance itself is kind of like under kind of a little walkway up to it. Kind of has a kind of indented overhang for the rest of the house. It's like a two-story house, and it has a little entrance that way to get into the door where the door's at. Little porch area, I suppose you could call it.
Hmm.
Right. So who's knocking on the door?
Want to take this one, dead guy?
Sure. A Dido. Again, I'm coming back to haunt you. Blimsky. Like Penny, but Blimsky. I'm annoying.
So after a few minutes, you see a similar thing. Like you see a maid or maybe a servant or someone open the door, and they look out. This one is a male. He looks out and says, "What can I do for you?"
Why are we here again? For a visit, right? We're here for a visit. Why are we here again? We're here for a visit.
Walker Boys invited us.
Yes, that's it. That's it.
Yes. You see him kind of groan, and he's like, "Lady Wachter is not wishing to see any vagrants today. Thank you."
That's fine by me.
Well, we also encountered one of her associates on the street who advised us we should head here.
Okay, so as he's starting to close the door, as you say that, and then he stops about a few inches from the closing it, and then he opens it back up. "Do you mean Eric? Eric Larnack?" And you remember him saying his name was Eric.
That would be the one.
Ah, well, why didn't you say so? It's just that, and my apologies for the rudeness. It's just that the Wachter boys seem to invite a lot of people here that Lady Wachter would not like to have here. They're a bit under their mom's, they're getting a bit on her nerves. Let's just say that.
Fair enough.
So he opens the door for you, and she, I forgot it was a she on this one. So she opens the door for you, and can I take your coats or anything?
I'm fine, I suppose. Thank you.
Very well, very well. If you'll follow me, and then so she heads into a doorway. You can see that it looks like there's two coat rooms on both sides of the door as you enter. And I'm gonna use Jack here. You're too big. Down. So you walk in, and still too. So she walks in, and you see as you come in, you see a stairs leading up to the second floor. She just takes you to the immediate left, and it opens up into a big kind of dining room / parlor. Inside there, you see the following. So an ornate dining room table stretches the length of the dining room, a crystal chandelier hanging above it imperiously. The silverware is tarnished and the dishes chipped, yet all are still quite elegant. 8 chairs and their backs adorned with sculpted elk horns surround the table. An arched windows made of lattice work of iron and glass look out into the small, fog-swept estate. Across from that, you see a parlor, just on the other side over here. Here, 3 elegant couches surround an oval table made of black glass. All are set in front of a blazing hearth, upon which hangs a portrait of a smirking nobleman sporting a broken nose and a tangle of hair graying at the temples. Several smaller portraits hang on the north wall. And so, kind of standing there in front of the fireplace, you see Lady Wachter. Lady Wachter is kind of like dressed in some finery and kind of got her got a cane that she kind of stands there with, and she is just kind of staring down at the fire in front of her. You see a couple of more like a maid kind of cleaning and stuff as you enter. And the one that lets you in, the valet, she announces your presence. Lady Wachter, you have some guests. They say they were brought here by Ernest. Sorry, his name was Ernest, not Eric. I got it wrong. She turns and looks and says, "Ah, yes. I've been expecting them. A little longer than I expected, but I knew they would be here eventually. Have a seat, my friends."
Sure, I'll take a seat.
Okay, so she allows you guys to kind of come and sit in the couches surrounding the fireplace. The valet, of course, goes back out and heads to the kitchen area, waiting for anybody else that comes knocking at the door. The maid over there, suspiciously, is kind of like wiping the table, but it looks like she's hitting spots she's already cleaned, and as though she's just kind of listening in. As she does this, you see Lady Wachter kind of turn and look at her and just be like, nods her head like, "Go away." And you see the maid look a little scorned, but then you see her leave and go in one of these side rooms. "Yes, I've been expecting you. Heard a lot about you. Lots of things that I don't. Most things that are happening in Vallaki and most of Borovia are well within my ear sight, or my ear, within range of my hearing, I should say. So, what brings you to my door, other than Ernest, botching up his job of simply following you?"
Uh, well, no. See, we have some time in Vallaki and are just getting acquainted with some of the major players, as it were.
Major players. Look at this
Did I
one.
just miss something? Well, I feel like did I just miss the entire conversation. What?
What's that, Jack?
Did I just miss something?
What
How
did you
so?
miss?
I feel like you said something, but it sounded like right in the middle of a conversation, and sometimes the mics of other people have been cutting out on my end. As
Yeah.
you guys been talking the entire time, and I've just been missing it.
Yeah, I was saying a little bit. Lady Wachter was just like in
Yeah,
inviting
again,
you
I don't
in.
hear anything on the mics.
You're not
What the
hearing me?
hell? Oh my god.
That's weird.
Wait, where did I miss? Shit.
Can you hear me now?
Can you hear us now?
A little bit.
Basically, Lady
Hold on,
Wachter.
where did I miss? Where did I miss?
So Lady Wachter asked you guys to come in and have a seat.
Shit, I can't hear nobody. I literally can't hear anybody. What the fuck is going on?
Hmm.
God damn it.
Any luck now, Jack?
Jack, can you hear us?
I can hear you. I can hear you now. You guys
Oh,
talking? You guys
okay.
talking? Did I miss something? What did I miss? What's going on?
So when we came in the house, did you hear any of that of Lady Wachter inviting you in, having a seat,
My
any of that
stream's
stuff?
acting up. Shit.
Can you still not hear me, Jack?
Okay, now I can't hear anything at all.
So you hear me, but not Alex?
I can only hear you, Berlick. I can only hear you. If Alex is talking right now, or his wife, I can't hear them. I can hear only you for some weird reason.
Huh.
I haven't talked in a while. Can you hear me?
Okay, I hear her. I hear her.
Yeah, so you're
can only hear-
not hearing
I
something
can't
that's coming
hear
through
Alex.
my mic. Yeah.
Is Alex talking right now? Because I can't hear him.
That's
Check
weird.
to make sure that he didn't accidentally get muted on your end.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, you can mute other people on the
I don't
the
see
chat.
Alex,
any microphones
I
with
love
the
you.
slash symbol through it. I can't hear
know.
Alex at all. I don't know why.
I know he can't.
Right
hear me.
click on Alex, Jack,
Okay.
and then just is the mute button checked?
No, it's not.
Huh.
What the fuck?
Weird. Really weird.
That's really irritating.
Google this.
Oh man. If he's been talking this entire time, I feel so bad. I can't hear him.
Yeah. Check your input and output devices.
Name off?
Oh, the other thing, when you right click on Alex's profile, is the volume slider in the middle or?
No, there's like no symbols. It's just a red box with the white Discord symbol in the middle. There are no symbols.
When you right click on Alex?
When I right click on Alex, there is no symbols, like nothing at all.
Like there's like you don't see profile, mention, message, call.
Nope, absolutely nothing. I'm
I'm gonna
getting nothing
disconnect
over
and come
here. I
back
don't
in
know
and
what's
see if
going
that
on.
helps him.
Sure. Alex is
Hey, I was about to say maybe I should leave and
Testing.
then come back. 'Cause I
Testing.
can't. Okay, that now I can hear you. I don't know what went wrong. I'm so sorry. I don't know. Fuck.
That's
that's
okay.
really weird.
I'm so sorry. That was
Better
really weird how only I couldn't hear you.
better you say something now than in an hour and a half.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
I just thought you were setting something up and nobody was talking.
Somehow you
I was just
probably
waiting.
muted me, and it's just I don't know how it happened, but somehow I got muted on your server or on your side.
I'm so sorry. What
Okay.
were you saying? I couldn't hear anything.
So no, it's fine. So Lady Walker just basically invited you all in and basically said that she had been kind of expecting you, even though, and especially after Ernest, her spy, essentially had goofed up and let you know that he was watching you. And she kind of dismissed all of the maids and servants so that you guys would have privacy here, and that's pretty much where she got.
Okay. I'm glad I said something. Cause I heard Burlick, and he sounded like he was talking like right in the middle of a conversation. I'm like, wait, hold up, did I miss something? What's going on? So I'm glad I caught that. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see my name lights up white when I'm talking, so if you don't hear anything and that's going on, definitely ask.
Okay.
Alright, so what brings you to my door other than my misfortune of my Ernest not doing his job correctly?
Why we've got a little bit of time in town and are simply introducing ourselves to the major players, as it were.
Ah, this one knows what's going on. Yes, I am Lady Wachter, Lady Fiona Wachter of the Wachters. We've been part of Borovia even further back than Victor Velakovich himself, of the Velakoviches. We are an old family here, although my sons don't treat it that way. They should, with their prestige, but yes, we are one of the major players, as you put it. So, have you met the Burgomaster?
Why, yes, we have. We just left his residence a short while ago.
And what did you think of him?
Uh, Quite the fellow, I will say. He's sure got a plan for the town, one, whether it works or not.
Hmm. See, yes, he's put this town through hundreds of those festivals, each time declaring that this particular festival is the one that will bring back the Morning Lord. Obviously, none of them work. He's delusional, you see. But I tell you, did he offer you anything or of anything of value from him? And she's kind of looking at you with like very kind of closely to see how well you are, see if you're trying to hide anything from her.
Ah,
Wait,
well, what is that, Jack? You want to say something?
are we hiding anything from her? I don't think we are we?
We haven't yet.
Yeah.
um,
Okay. That's to know.
yeah, I just say, we actually had a request of him, and are doing a small favor to get what we asked for.
Favors of the Burgomaster, yes. And what did he ask you in return?
Do you guys want to spill the beans?
Nope.
I don't even
Okay.
remember.
Hey.
So you all have to kind of like look at each other without saying anything because she's watching you intently.
I mean, she's the one that had us followed first, so shady AF.
Very true.
Fair enough. Sure. Sure. We're simply escorting his guard, Isaac. That's all.
Escorting Isaac, the one with the demon arm. Yes.
Racist.
That would be the same.
Yes. You see, if you haven't been able to tell, Isaac himself is one of the soulless. That demon arm is just proof of it. But I digress on that. You are escorting Isaac on some sort of mission? Where might you be
No.
escorting him?
We don't know yet. They haven't given us any details.
I don't believe you. I think you're hiding something from me.
All I know is, why does Isaac have dolls?
Oh, yes, so you've met Blinsky, have you? Learned of Isaac's little peculiarity. I told you, I know much
Indeed.
about what happens here in Vallaki. More than you think. I know.
Would you know why he wants that specific doll?
Yes, I do. I've had Ernest ask him himself. You see, and Isaac is not too secretive about this if he's had a few drinks in him. Yes, he has nightly visions of a woman, dreams. During his dreams, he is with this woman, and he claims that this woman is his sister, and he's trying to find her.
Interesting.
Wild.
Fair enough.
Ernest tells me that has told me that when he first was following you, you were in the company of a woman that looked much like these dolls. Is she still with you?
Nope.
Nada.
Where did she go?
Oh.
You don't know.
Mm.
Ernest tells me that you look like you were protecting her. You don't know where your charges went? What kind of friends or protectors or whatever you are to her? What kind of people are you?
Apparently bad ones.
I'm not even the person. I'm dead, so I don't know.
See.
We're talking about again?
Very interesting. So, I ask again, what brings you to my estate? Other than wanting to meet the players, as this one puts it.
Oh,
Yeah, why are we here again?
weren't we invited by Ernest?
Oh, right, yeah.
Yes, Ernest did invite you. That wasn't necessarily my plan to introduce you yet. I wanted to get a bit more readings of the type of people you are. You seem like you want the best for those around you, and I can respect that. I too want the best for the people of Vallaki, and obviously the burgomaster of Valakovich is not doing that. You know that, I know that. So, tell me why you are working for him. I am attempting to, shall we say, retire the Valakovich from his position. He does not belong as burgomaster. The people look more to me when they need things done.
Do they?
They do. You
What
see
do you
them.
give them?
I give them hope. I don't give them false hope and make them wave around their hands in silly gestures and say nonsense words.
Was the burgomaster always this way?
It was not always this way, but a few years back, he was visited by a man named Vasily Von Holtz. Maybe you've heard of him. He travels around and wears clothing that hides his face a lot. But this Vasily, I'm not sure how you pronounce his name. I've never met him myself, you see. But I've heard much of him. People talk of him and have seen him around. This Vasily Von Holtz, he visits the burgomaster from time to time, but after the first time that he visited him, he started having these dreams that he was saying that came straight from the Morning Lord himself, that the Morning Lord was making requests of him, trying to test Vargas Varlakovich and see if the people were truly faithful to the Morning Lord still, despite this curse, so-called curse of Strahd. And he, from then on, he has been doing these festivals about once a week, if not, or weekly or bi-weekly, depending on how quickly he can bring them together, for several years now. Uh, Almost a decade, to be a fact. The people are absolutely fed up with it. If he does not do well on this last festival, I fear that the people may revolt against him.
Are you leading the revolt?
Leading is such a harsh word. I am encouraging, I suppose you could say.
Hmm.
What if
I mean,
we? Oh, sorry. Go for it, Piglet.
I was gonna say we've already noticed many that would probably follow you.
Indeed, many come by the Wachter house, for it is here within these walls that they do not have to pretend to be something they're not. They do not have to pretend that all is well. They do not have to have smiles on their faces at all times. If you want to see the true dementia and the absolute power that Velakovich has put on the people, just stroll by the square where you'll see those in the stocks being treated the way that they are for simply saying that perhaps all is not well.
If we could restore Jirolokovich to his previous functioning, would that sate your passions?
To its previous functions of him not doing a festival each week, you mean?
Indeed.
And not forcing the people to have to say all is well all the time and have to have fake smiles on their faces to show a little bit of real humanity.
I have a strong suspicion that this Vasila has something to do with this change in the burgomaster.
Oh, I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does. It doesn't take a genius to figure out that these things happen shortly after Vasily came in contact with this man, or with this Velakovich. Others have had similar results. You may have met our town toy maker Blensky. He had a similar run-in with Vasily Von Holtz, and well, he's not doing well. If you have been by there, you've seen his new toys that he is making.
We've definitely noticed a trend. What if, what if rather than deposing the burgomaster, we investigated this fellow and dug a little deeper into what's going on here?
I suspect that you would not be able to find this Vasily von Holtz. He does not hold residence here in Vallaki. I do not know his true origins, but I assume he is here because he is opposed to Strahd and wishes to cause as much mischief to Strahd's plans as possible.
Would you have any leads on him, considering you're the eyes and ears of the land, as it were?
I've had more adept spies than Ernest chasing him down and have not yet figured out where he is. He vanishes without a trace when I have people follow him.
Hmm. And what was his last name? Holt?
Holtz, yes.
Is there any?
Holtz.
I see.
Von
Is
Holtz.
there any? Is there any relationship to this Argenvolst Holt?
No, no, not in the slightest. That old story
We.
is about a dragon that turned into a man named Argenvost. The Holt in the Argenvost Holt just means is a dragon word for house. So it's Argenvost's house when you say Argenvost Holt.
I see. I see. That would have been too simple, wouldn't it? Hmm.
No, this Holtz, I think this is some sort of moniker or something to keep his true name hidden. I don't believe his name is actually Vasily Von Holtz.
What are you guys thinking?
So,
Quite. To be honest, I
tell
don't
me what it
care.
is that the burgomaster wants you to do. I already have a suspicion of what it is because I know that he has been planning an expedition to the Amber Temple for some time, and Izek has always been part of that plan. You mentioned to me that you are escorting Izek somewhere. I think you know more than you're letting on.
I think you know precisely what's going on. Why do we need to say it?
Because I'm trying to not have to weasel it out of you, and thought maybe you might be willing to share with me, seeing that, I want what is best for Vallaki. Obviously, the burgomaster should be removed from his position. When I say a revolt, I do not wish him. When I said that I wanted him retired, I do not mean that I wanted him dead. Only that I wanted him removed from that position so that others may take his place and become better burgomasters than he.
I see. I was getting that murdery vibe for a minute there.
Oh heavens, no. No. I would do no such thing.
Certainly reassuring. Um, well, what were your thoughts? What were your plans?
Well, I would help the people instill a new burgomaster, one that they would feel that they could trust and would rule fairly and attempt to bring back greatness to Vallaki. And this trip to Amber Temple is a good idea to bring that fortune back to the people. But I have little doubt that most will go into the burgomaster's coffer and not to the people, as it were. Then none of that money will be spent to rebuild St. Andrew's, for instance, or to bolster the poor orphanage that bears its moniker.
And she is making some strong points here, guys. I don't know. What are you thinking?
I don't care about politics. To be quite honest, when are we gonna get? When are we gonna get to kill some vampire
Dead
gods?
guy's just over there nodding off, and so is Stumbledog. He doesn't care about the stuff either. He's just kind of leaning against the wall.
Well, I guess it comes to the tiebreaker, Pigwin. What are your thoughts?
I don't trust her.
Okay. So maybe we should just stay out of the politics. Let her know we have no interest in that. Okay.
Well, let me give you my offer, and I will give you time to think about it. So, take up the burgomaster's call, go with Izek to get this treasure, but instead of taking it back to the burgomaster, bring it back here, and we will disperse it to the people ourselves.
We will definitely think about that.
That's all I can ask.
Fair enough. I appreciate the understanding.
Keep in mind, though, that I do know all things that happen in Vallaki, so please do not. This is not a threat by any means, but I will know if you go to the burgomaster and tell him of my particular interests in seeing him removed.
Well, I don't think you have to worry about that. We're not particularly interested in getting involved in the politics of Vallaki, in all honesty.
Ah, very well, very well. Yes, you can leave that to me and others of my court.
At all.
Fair enough.
And please do not mention any of what I have told you to my sons. They couldn't keep a secret to save their lives, which is why I have them spend most of their time at the inn getting drunk.
Sounds like a good use of their time.
I like to say
Indeed,
same
much
exact
more
thing,
use
to be
of their
honest.
time than anything else, including thinking.
Yeah, I don't like doing that. It's not fun.
Are you saying that out loud, Jack?
I don't like thinking.
Clearly, she turns away from you.
Yeah. I've grown used to it. I don't care anymore.
Fair enough.
It is what
Well,
it is. Whatever.
we shall take our
All is
leave
well.
then.
And she kind of gives a little bow and kind of like if she had a hat, she'd be tipping it to you, like, very well, until we meet again. She goes back to looking at the fire, kind
All is
of
well.
gazing off into it as though deep in thought. She just kind of like sneers when you say all is well.
Bitch.
As you make your way back out, the valet opens the doors, both of the doors for you, and presents you on the exit.
I really want to know who this Vasily guy is. In all honesty, I'm saying this to the party. I have a feeling we could help Mr. Blinsky out if we knew who that was.
I'm sure we'll run into him sooner or later. We always do. Not him, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're leaving the Wachter house?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yep.
sir.
Yeah.
What is it, Penguin?
No.
No way.
Pigwin doesn't know anything.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Terry does, and it's annoying her.
We're either so close or so far, aren't we?
Well, there's
Yeah,
just
this is-
this
to
is
be
like
honest-
this is her fourth time running through Curse of Strahd, so she's having to divorce herself from Terry and the character. So
Yeah, I kind of figured.
I still Pigwin doesn't quite trust her though. I mean, that's the choice I've given Pigwin. So
Yeah, to be honest, I don't trust her that much either. So I'm on board with that one.
I don't care.
both me, Jack, and Dead Guy don't care.
Yeah.
Are you true
I don't-
neutral, Jack?
No. I think I'm like good neutral or no.
Oh, okay.
Wait, what am I? I think I'm chaotic good. I forget.
Okay.
Anyway, I don't mind
She
talking,
just leans
but
more into the chaotic of part of that.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't mind talking, but I need some action too.
Wachter house. Where do you want to go now? What do you want to do? So this
Still
whole
sounds
time
vampire,
is you guys had kind of made it there about to the burgomaster's house at about noon. The shop after that, and then here you're about 2 o'clock in the afternoon at this.
Yeah, and we were gonna. The plan with Isaac was head out whenever. Head out in the morning.
Yeah, if you want to head out with him in the morning, absolutely. You still got that wedding dress to take back too. I don't know if you want to take the wedding dress all the way down to because when you go with the way that the burgomaster was kind of hinting at was as soon as you go with him with Isaac, he's expecting you to go straight to the Amber Temple.
I thought he was cool with us.
That's why he's giving you 5 days to do whatever you need to do before now and then.
I thought he was cool with us pit stopping at Kresik real quick.
We can do
No,
that
on the way
afterwards.
back is what you guys were talking about. That's what.
Oh,
he
I
was
see.
saying.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I would be okay just heading out with Isaac because we can always drop the dress off on the way back. Save ourselves a little bit of time, double backing and whatnot.
Okay. So what's your plan now then? While you're still got a few hours before dark, do you want to go back to the Blue Water Inn and rest, or check out the rest of the
Maybe
town?
we should.
Or
You guys want to do? I'm thinking maybe just inform the burgomaster's whatever the servant of the plan, and just to make sure Isaac's ready for the morning.
Yeah, sure.
okay. Do you want to make your way back over there and tell them, and then head back somewhere else, or do you want to have someone sent over there to do that? Like if you go to the Blue Water Inn, you could have somebody sent over there to tell them that.
Yeah, that works. That works by me.
Okay.
Pay one of the locals.
Yeah. Or one of the Marketov boys or something like that. We could run over there.
Yeah.
So you make your way back to the Blue Water Inn. Okay, so you guys make it back to the Blue Water Inn just fine.
Model.
So, as you guys enter the Blue Water Inn, you see, of course, the Marketovs are here doing their normal thing. You see their two sons running around. You don't see anybody other than the two. It looks like the two Wachter boys are here behind at the bar, drinking as they normally are. Already a little bit on a couple sheets of the wind already. As you enter, they both turn and say, "Oh, look! It's those adventurers again, Nikolai." "Indeed, Carl, indeed. Come over and join us for a drink."
Hello again. I'm not sure we've got the time today.
"It's only," and he kind of like looks around, looks for one of the windows. 2:30, so for 3 o'clock. What do you mean you don't have time?
Trying to convince him it's 2:30 in the morning.
Okay, do a persuasion check.
Really, like just pull the rug under them. 11.
So he kind of stares out the window, kind of squinting real heavily. "It can't be 2:30 in the morning. Too much sun out there. I know that the skies are always dark, but it's way more dark than that whenever it's 2:30 in the morning. Look at this one, Carl. He thinks he's funny."
Trust me, I'm a druid. It's this is just a function of solar eclipse and lunar eclipse and all that good stuff. It really is 2:30.
Try another deception check.
I'm fishing. 14.
Nikolai goes, "Yes, I've heard of those things, the eclipses." And you see Carl turn, "What? Shouldn't it be darker still with the eclipse? I mean, look out there, you can see the birds are out."
I think this one's had way too much.
"Oh, I could go another round or two. Come on." And he turns, and as he turns, he's sloshing his beer or his wine over at Danica, who just kind of like is just staring death stares at both of them. Just give me some more wine. It's 2:30 out there. What is the last call? Last call is at what, 3:30 in the morning? Something like that. And she just says, she's kind of like seeing what you're doing with him. She's like, "Nope, nope. Last call was at 1:30 this morning. You guys have been sipping on those for about an hour." And they both kind of turn to each other and kind of look. "Have we been drinking these for an hour, Carl?" "I don't know, Nikolai. Maybe. Maybe. Well, maybe it's time we should go home, Carl. Mom's gonna be pissed that we're out so late." "Alright, Nikolai." And you see them kind of hug each other. They put down their drinks and they kind of start hugging each other and kind of pushing their way past you guys out the door. "Gosh dang, it's bright for 2:30 in the morning."
Got him.
They need girlfriends. Jesus.
Got him. They need an intervention, those two.
They had a girlfriend. My God.
So as you walk over, you see that Danica has a big smile on her face, and she pours you some wine. She's like, "That one deserves a drink. Here."
Huzzah. Start drinking it down.
"I've been trying to get them to stop for an hour."
Just remember, always pull out the eclipse card.
She goes, "By the way, thank you so much for your help at the wine. Erwin's brothers came by not too long ago with some fresh barrels. We were running pretty low, and so this would bring back up our stock. So, thank you on that. It'll get
Had
us.
to have helped.
It'll get us through until they can get some more fermented, and you get some of those other barrels." You stopped. Apparently, Davian wanted to let you know that you had stopped the druids from poisoning all of the wine. The one barrel, or one of the fermentation barrels, was poisoned, and that had to be wasted. But the other two are intact, and so thank you for that. Thank you from all of us. The Marketovs are in your debt, and as we mentioned before, your lodging with us will be free since you were able to do this. Your drinks and stuff are free with us as well, as long as you don't drink us out completely. We do need to make some money.
That would be a tall order. Maybe we could have a favor from your boys here. We need to let the burgomaster know for Isaac to be ready in the morning for us to leave.
Oh, sure, yes, yes, absolutely. She goes over and kind of like waves Vigo. She's like, Vigo, come here, Vigo. Her son, who's about 10, comes running over. Vigo, these fine folks would like you to take a message to the burgomaster. Can you do that? Yes, Mom, I can do that. Right, what message do you want Vigo here to take to my burgomaster?
Just to let the burgomaster know to have Isaac ready at the which gate? The west gate, so we can depart first thing in the morning.
I will. I will. Vigo, did you catch all that? And he's like kind of nodding. Yes, yes, I got it, Mom. I got it. I can do this. All right then. Just there and back. No stopping at this toy shop. There and back. Yes, Mom. Yes, Mom. And he runs out the door. And you see the other boy kind of like join him near the door and goes, Mom, can I go too? Can I go with Vigo? Like, yes, but stay together. And then he runs out with them.
The sweet enthusiasm of child labor.
Child
Say
labor?
that.
What do you mean by that?
Nothing at all.
Oh, okay. So, what else have you fine folks been up to since saving the winery?
I'll regale her with all the stories, all the shenanigans with the abbot and the wedding
So
dress.
while you're doing that, he knocks on the door and Erwin pokes his head out and he put ducks back in and brings out some food for you and everything. They both kind of stand there listening to your tales, and then as soon as you finish, Erwin kind of is like he's kind of scrounging his beard a little bit, and he's like, "Those are some fine tales indeed. Already you've had some adventures here, and to think." Did you tell him about Tatiana and Arena, or did you leave that part out?
What do you guys think?
That part out.
I was gonna say, yeah, of course. That's like the best part of it. I'm fine. I'll gloss over it. As dead guy's nudging me to not say anything about it.
Shut the fuck up.
Ah, yes. Though the abbot is creating a wife for Strahd. It's an interesting plan. Don't think it'll work, but interesting plan.
Yeah, very interesting. I agree with your assessment, though.
From my understanding, Strahd has taken many brides since his curse, but none of them seem to break his curse or sustain his interest for more than 50 to 60 years.
I'm not expecting this to be successful either.
Especially if she's having as much trouble as you mentioned. One thing to teach a normal woman how to be a noble, but you're teaching a brought back woman from the dead who's not in control of her own body parts. That is going to be one heck of an undertaking.
It is definitely an
I'm not sure
uphill challenge. Sorry, what's that, Jack?
Yeah, I don't think there's enough makeup to cover that up.
As he says that, thoughts of her slamming her head into the table as she bent down to get something come back to your mind.
Yeah.
A little blush. Just a little blush. That's all it needs.
The forehead.
That's
to
poor
cover up the
girl.
patina.
or whoever she once was, being brought back and forced to do something like that. I wonder if she even knows where she came from. Always wondered about flesh golems being stitched together by other people's parts. Do they retain the memories of one person, or do they have everybody's, or are they a brand new person?
No.
That is quite the philosophical take on things.
Indeed.
I don't remember.
And she's like, Danica's like, you'll have to forgive my husband. He likes to muse on certain things. He thinks himself a bit of a thinker, you see, philosophical thinker.
Does it pay well?
Now that the question's been planted, now I can't stop thinking about it.
Well, let's just say they don't remember it first. I have personal experience with something like that.
Fair enough.
So then he kind of just like goes back in the kitchen, still like pondering the question. You can hear him kind of muttering to himself. Just more questions about whether or not she has the previous person's memories or the stuff like that, and he's just kind of going in back in the kitchen, muttering back to himself.
Funny.
Yeah, so you see a few people wandering in and out while you're having dinner and stuff and waiting for the evening. About 6 o'clock or so, you see Van Richten come in again, just like normal. He comes in. Actually, it's about 5 o'clock when he first comes in. He comes in and gets a steak like he's gotten before, and then he leaves for about an hour and comes back in and takes a seat at that table where he waits for his normal group of people to come in. And he starts regaling them with more tales. Some of these that you've already previously heard, but it seems that he has changed some of the details on a few of these to make them more exciting, as though he's been workshopping them.
Still have a feeling about that one, but don't know where to go with it.
And whenever he brings up names of creatures that he's seen people fight or has dealt with himself, they're always names that don't sound like anything you've ever heard of, or they kind of sound made up. They don't sound like a Snorlax or a Bendigo or something like that. And it's like they just seem a little bit made up or off, and you've never heard of them ever.
Oh, I saw this lightning rat. I called him Pikachu. The fuck are you talking about, man? Jesus Christ! What drugs are you on?
Fair enough. Yeah. I don't know. What do you guys think? We rest for the rest of the night until morning?
Yeah, I guess so.
Right. So after it kind of gets dark and gets late, Danica offers you to share you to their room. About as you're heading out to go out to your room, it's about 8 o'clock. You see the two boys making their way back, and then they stop as they see you guys come out. There they are, those jokers, saying it was a moon, an eclipse, as it were. Made us waste half a quarter of a day sobering up. I'm gonna be drinking myself under the table for that one. Indeed, Nikolai.
You guys have
Indeed.
jobs or anything?
Just imagine how much sweeter the drink will be now that you can savor it. We did you a favor.
They both kind of turn to each other. You know what? He's right, Carl. Indeed, Nikolai. Indeed, this one was smart. Smart to trick us like that. Why don't you come have a drink with us, sir?
We've got an early morning.
Oh, an early morning, they say. You must have business like mother. We don't care about any of that. We'll just be having fun while you do your sleeping.
We've already been up since 2:30.
A job, you parasite.
Oh, not falling for that one again.
Got him.
And you see them both kind of go in the door, and then you see like Carl kind of standing at the door. 2:30, this one said. That's hilarious, and then he slams the door. As you make your way in up the stairs and you kind of make your way back inside on the handrail, you can see them both down there. Danica is, you know, pouring them some wine with a kind of just shaking her head while they're going on and on about being tricked by the 2:30 thing. So, all right, and so you guys go into the room that she's offered you. It's got 4 beds, and um, there's been an extra cot put in here for the 5th member. So all of you turn to Stumbleduck since he's the smallest, and like, fine, take the cot. Don't know why I'm taking the cot since dead guy doesn't sleep anyways.
That is a good question.
You know what? I'll tell you what. I wouldn't mind being unconscious for a couple of hours.
Dead guy, you're just like, I like the relaxation. I like to just lay there. I like the comfort.
You know what? I actually haven't slept since I died. It could be nice. Now I ain't got to babysit Irina because somebody's trying to kill her, or some kids, or yeah. No, I think I'm gonna try and sleep for a couple of hours. I don't even know if I can, but I'll see if I can. I hope I
Give
can.
it the old college try.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, good night, I guess.
All right, so as you guys are all kind of laying there, trying to go to sleep, dead guy, you too, you're not sleeping, but you start to zone out a bit to the point where your mind starts to wander a bit. And all of you experience a very similar dream. Each of you are kind of walking through the streets of Borovia, the village of Borovia, and you hear the sound of a peddling cart moving up along the street. You see the cart come forward, a very familiar looking cart with an old woman that looks very familiar. You can see Morgantha pushing her cart as she comes closer to you, and she stops right in front of you and says, she reaches into her cart and pulls out one of those pastries and says, "Dream pastries? Only a copper." And you see yourself kind of reach in. You don't see your, like, you see your own hands kind of reach into your pocket and pull out a copper coin and hand it to her, and she puts it in your hands and says, "Now be a good boy and have that whole thing. Now we don't want any to go to waste. You're a growing lad." And then she pushes her cart on, and you look down, staring down at the dream pastry, and then that's when you all kind of simultaneously wake up in the morning.
Well, shit. She's back.
All right, well, I'm never fucking doing that again. That was the worst.
That's funny.
Thank you.
Everyone roll a history check to see if you can understand maybe what happened here.
15.
19.
Okay.
Jeez, whenever I'm asleep or not, I can't escape.
You gonna roll 2, big one?
I wasn't logged in.
That's okay. Yeah, so you all kind of have a little bit of this understanding. You know that night hags are a very particular type of hag that will sometimes invade people's dreams, which is obviously why she was. They're kind of crafters of dreams and everything. And so, if a night hag isn't killed, it will sometimes come back and haunt the person that it has a grudge against. And so you can tell from this that the night hag is, and maybe even her daughters are still kind of peeved at you from destroying their because you guys burnt the windmill, if I remember right, correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
Birth
yeah.
that baby.
Destroying their business and released their prisoners and all that stuff. So it seems like they may be trying to torment you at least, or preparing for some sort of longer confrontation with you. So it's definitely one of those things. Like, these aren't just some random dreams, random coincidences that you all had the same kind of dream involving her. Also, everybody go up a level here.
Nice. Now I have 2 fireballs.
I know you haven't had a lot of combat, but you have done a lot of the story, so that's just gonna get. I've had quite a bit of stuff happen to you since your 5th level. So.
And I still haven't used fireball yet. Huh.
Just waiting for it.
What the hell is a Hound of... What the fuck? Hound of Ill Omen? 6th level, you gain the ability to call forth a howling creature of darkness to harass your foes. Bonus action, you can spend 3 sorcerer's points to magically summon a Hound of Ill Omen. Target 1 creature you see. The Hound uses the dire wolf statics. Oh, that's pretty cool. Ooh. I wasn't expecting a spell like that, but sure I can find a use for it.
Those are typically devils. Those on the 9 hells. Abyssal are the demons. They come from the abyss.
I can speak Abyssal. If that's useful.
You can? Okay.
I can. I think because of like my background, my feats, I can like all that combined. I can speak Abyssal, Celestial, Common, and Draconic.
Quite a few.
I know, right?
I have a feeling
Like,
that
I
might
don't
come
know.
in handy at the Amber Temple.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. And the Dragon Manor. And I'm just like, yeah, I don't remember learning these languages, but I just know 4 languages. I don't know, just roll with it.
Like an owl.
Yeah,
Just knows.
just know. Kind of like when you like have amnesia, you lose all your memories, but you somehow like know. You don't remember how to speak, but you don't know how.
Right.
It just works. It just works.
Absolutely.
Fuck on my spell list.
Let me know when you guys are all leveled up and ready to continue.
Yeah, I'm leveled up, so
Yeah, I
whatever
only need
everybody
to
else
add
is.
one. I'm still. You can go on. I only need to add like 1 spell because I'm a sorcerer. Yay.
Okay. So yeah, you guys wake up the next morning and make your way down for a nice breakfast. Of course, you're not surprised at all to see the boys already there, as though you're sure they did go home because they are a bit more sober, but they definitely have kind of a look like they didn't get much sleep on them. They're kind of doing a kind of a hair of the dog type thing. They're already starting to drink, but they're not as chipper as they were the previous night. You also see Van Richten grabbing his steak as normal and heading out. This time, though,
cool.
when he heads out, you do see that the boys put down their wine. They kind of nudge at each other, and then after a minute after he heads out the door, you see them also head out in that same direction.
Plot thickens. I'll have to ask them later what they found.
Spell usually call fly.
Right. So you guys can just enjoy your breakfast. About 20 minutes or 30 minutes later, you see Van Richten return, and he waits there for his usual crowd of visitors as he eats his morning breakfast as well.
Something with that guy. All All right. Shall we start making the trip?
Yes.
So, before you head out, you see Van Richten kind of wave you over. Let me have a moment.
Sure. Let's see what he's got to say.
As you make your way over, he kind of none of his group has made it in yet. You see him kind of ask if you want to sit down next to him.
Sure. I'll take a seat.
All right, so you take a seat. You see him kind of wait for the rest of you to sit down or decide to stand. Then he kind of leans over to you and says, "So, I've heard that you are undertaking a trip to the Amber Temple."
That is correct. You've heard quite quickly, in fact.
This is a small town after all. I mean, Vallaki is a big city, but still, compared to places like Baldur's Gate and Neverwinter, it's still pretty a small town. Uh, words get around you, especially if you have
Indeed.
contacts. But I've heard you're going to the Amber Temple. So, I would warn that there are some pretty dangerous things there. I've heard. Now,
Yeah, no shit.
don't take this as absolute, but I've heard that there's a lich.
That would be very bad for us to run into one of those.
Hear over that banging sound. What did you say?
A
Sorry, I
lich.
hit my.
No, you're good, bro. I just couldn't hear. What happened?
Yeah, there's a lich there who dwells
Fuck.
there.
Well, I mean, we were going with the knowledge of vampire gods, so hopefully, lich is weaker. Hopefully, I don't know.
I think a lich would murder us.
I am somewhat of a scholar myself.
So-
I mean, having been kind of trapped in this land, I haven't had much time to explore it as I'd like, and I was wondering if you would let this old man accompany you.
I see no reason why not, but as I've told you before, I've got an inkling of suspicion about you, so I'd like you to you know fill us in a little bit more on your past if you're going to join us.
Fair assumption there. I tell you what. So you are heading west with Izik, I believe, to the road that heads south through the mountains.
Correct.
See if you can get Izik to make a small detour just to the north. There's a tower on the lake there. Perhaps you've seen it. It looks like an old wizard's tower.
Yes. Yeah.
If you would meet
Is
me
this-
there, I will explain all that you need to know.
Okay. Was that Arkenvost Holt? That tower?
Oh no, Argenvostholt, that is to the south. It's on a big hill as you make
Right.
your way towards Berez. No, this, and you guys kind of remember the tower as you were walking over the bridge from back from Krezik. You could see out over the lake, and you could see the tower out on this little inland that kind of goes into the lake. It's a little round kind of like tower with a big kind of like top where it looks like somebody has a living quarters in the top of it. Just a kind of a lone tower sitting out on that little inlet.
That's right. That's right. Okay.
Are you on time limit though?
I think we can convince Isaac to do a small detour. It's not like we're going that far out of the way.
There's always a detour. Okay.
We need this deep.
Okay. I feel like there's some meta there. Yeah, no, I'm all for it.
Great,
Works.
great.
Works to me.
Let me. I'm going to go and get a few things, and I will meet you there. I get to prepare myself for the trip to the Ember Temple. Like I said, it's pretty dangerous there, so gotta grab a few things from my cart. And so he heads out, kind of finishes up his meal real quick, and then heads out.
Not thinking.
And then you guys, I'm assuming, you're heading out too.
we'll go
Okay,
meet.
yeah.
Didn't know if you
Isaac.
guys wanted to discuss anything there, or just head on out. So
Big dead.
Wait, discuss what?
you said you might turn on us if we discuss anymore. Like just talking too much. You're wanting to,
I
you're
like
wanting
that.
to go
That's-
and use a
Yeah.
fireball. So plus
Don't
you're
use
undead, so it was
fireball.
a double entendre there. So
Yeah.
Not just use a fireball, use multiple fireballs.
What do you think I'm gonna do?
I think
Had
you
enough
have
of
2
this.
level 3 spells at this point.
Awesome. I use both of them at once.
So, unless there's anything else that you want to do in Vallaki, I'm going to skip straight to the part of you guys
Nope.
meet with Isaac at the gate, and he takes you out, heads out on the road. He's got about 3 guards with him, and himself. 3 of his most trusted guards are with him. There's a very dour, sour face on him as he gets, but that's just kind of, you get the idea that that's just the way he looks most of the time. And as you approach, he kind of just lets you know, horses are ready when you are. We should head out soon if we're going to make it there by nightfall.
Certainly agree.
Yep, I can go immediately. Let's do it.
This is going to take a second to load. Take a bathroom break if you need it.
Might you just ask? I'm back whenever everybody gets back. You're really hoping for some encounters on this journey, aren't you, Jack?
All right, you guys are
Always.
back. Excellent.
Hmm?
All right.
You know me.
So you start heading down the main road and cross over the bridge within about an hour or so. You kind of get up to the point where the crossroads. The cart's a little slower going than you'd like it. The horses are pulling pretty fast, but it's still a big cart, an empty cart with cold weather gear and a little crate in it that he has let you know that you guys will be allowed to use once we get to an area that is colder. Right now it's still pretty mild temperatures, but once you get up in the mountains, he's gonna break out all the cold weather gear.
Does my dead skin feel cold?
I don't know. Does it say you're immune to the cold?
I was looking for it because I assumed it was said something about like being resistant to cold. I don't see anything, so maybe I don't.
Do you have
But
resistance?
It would make
Do you have
sense
cold
if I did, though,
resistance?
wouldn't it? It makes sense if I did, but I'm not seeing anything under features and
Let's
traits.
see.
I don't see anything either.
Jack,
I
why
guess I
do
don't.
you have 5 ideals
What's an ideal? Oh,
under your
I have 5 ideals.
You have 5 of them on. I just noticed that.
I do.
You're only supposed to have 1. Yeah.
He's an idealist.
Well,
Yeah, I'm an ideal.
well, it looks like you have the
Okay.
same one on there twice or 3 times. So actually, you only have two, but you've got them on there like 3 times.
Where's this at?
So under your description,
Oh, I see now.
yeah. So edit
Um,
that and edit down to one. Either choose I'll stop the spirits that haunt me or die trying, or I'll try to help those in need no matter what the personal cost. I feel like the first one's is more your thing. If the other
yeah,
one
that.
is, you haven't really been holding up to that too much.
Yeah, I haven't been really. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I didn't even know that was there,
All
to be
right.
honest.
So I will do because I don't think we'll make it to the Amber Temple tonight, but I will do a real research and find out if you need cold resistance. So
Appreciate it.
if you have cold resistance, being partially undead. All right, so you guys
Yeah.
make it past the way. Now you notice that there was that road that heads up, like kind of like this off road that we could go up to the wizard tower. But you also know that it will meet there again as you go on. So you've got a little bit of time to try to convince Isaac to let you go up to that tower, make a detour to that tower.
I think we try to convince him now to take the route because I think it'll be an easier sell because it's really no difference in distance.
Okay. All right, so that's basically the argument you're throwing at him. Do a persuasion check for him.
19.
Oh yeah, he definitely is okay with that. Well, it's not on the route that the burgomaster said, but it's definitely still going the right direction, so I'll allow it. We just can't spend too much time there because we want to make it up to the mountains by nightfall.
I agree. I'm in complete agreement.
So then he turns the horse and goes the route into the woods there. Now this route is still traveled, but not as traveled. It's a little bit smaller with the cart and everything, but it still makes good time on around. I need to roll for any encounter.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, unfortunately, it seems that there's not anything happening there.
Fuck.
After about
You couldn't have just made something up.
I know. I'm about to say, just fudge the dice. Just give me just one werewolf, a 5-minute battle, and then out.
One werewolf, a couple bites.
All right.
Yeah. Then maybe we can skip the entire wolf den segment and save every time some time because my selfish ass. I'm just saying.
You keep throwing out there that you want to be turned, but you're also pointing out you're undead, which I don't think an undead can be turned.
Well, I'm undead and not dead, or not
I
undead.
understand, but you know, you're kind of like doing the selective. What properties do I get? You know, like well, I want the good properties, but none of the bad ones.
I mean, I already can't sleep. I accepted that. Not that I'm willing to do it again after what happened last night, but still.
So
I'm just saying, if somebody can use a healing spell on me
true.
and it
I will have to
works,
do some
I'm pretty sure.
digging on that to see. This is a rather new kind of class, so I need to do some digging, or not class, but race. So I'm gonna need to do some digging on that to figure out what you can and can't do under that.
I really want to be a werewolf.
So
I always wanted to be a werewolf. I always wanted to do it.
So after a little while, you're able to see the clearing that heads up to the tower. It's just a small detour up to the tower, not very much off the track. So Isaac, he is not too upset with making the detour that way. Pretty easy to convince. So you make the road up to that, and it goes across the land kind of creates kind of a land bridge up to this small little island where this tower is looking at. And let's go ahead and get to it.
He's got a tower named after him.
I think it's more of just like this is a tower that he is hanging out at or knows about, so not necessarily his
Yeah.
tower.
Yeah.
All right. that's loading, I'll get on the right page. So, so I'll just describe what it's like walking up to this tower. You come to a cold mountain lake enclosed by misty woods and rocky bluffs. Thick fog creeps over the dark, still waters. The trail ends at a grass-covered causeway that stretches 100 yards across the lake to a flat, marshy island with a stone tower on it. The tower is old and decrepit, with collapsing scaffolds clinging to one side, where a large gash has been split in the wall. Time-worn griffin statues, their wings and flanks covered with moss, perch atop the buttresses that support the walls. Parked near the base of the tower, within the sight of the entrance, is a barrel-topped wagon spattered with mud. You notice that the wagon it's a pretty nice looking wagon, well upkept. There's obviously missing a horse there, but someone has left this wagon near the tower. You don't know if it's Van Richten's. You did hear him mention that he was going to get something out of his wagon, but he didn't say anything about bringing his wagon with him.
Does it look like one of the Vistani wagons?
It is very similar to a Vistani wagon, yes. But you don't see any of the markings of the Vistani that you've met so far.
Okay. I'll knock on the wagon and be like, hey, anybody in there?
So as you approach the wagon, you see that Van Richten is actually kind of leaning against the wagon, towards the back of the wagon. And as you approach, like, right on time, right on time. I just got here a few minutes myself, and so I haven't had to wait long, but perfect, perfect. And he kind of looks back over and sees that you've got Isaac. Ah, good. You didn't have to abandon Isaac. You got him to come up here. Awesome. Not that he needed to be here for what I've got to tell you. In fact, I would prefer, and he kind of whispers a little bit, I would prefer if he didn't come and listen to what I had to say.
Sure. We'll ask Isaac to wait at the road for us. It won't be long. We'll be right back with him.
He kind of glowers a bit when you say that, but he's like, all right, I'll wait. Don't take too long. We gotta get back on the road.
If you see any werewolves, let me know.
He kind of glowers and says, if I see any werewolves, I'm gonna kill them first, then I'll let you know.
I can't win today.
So you see Van Richten kind of push off again from the cart and go up to the door. When he reaches the front of the door, you notice that the door has kind of in the middle of it, it has a round kind of embossed symbol like into the door, and it's connected by some series of lines. In the center of it has like these series of lines and 8 kind of like little stick figures, all in kind of different positions on the door. Let me see if I can find this particular image. Second. So that's there. It's in the chat. So you notice that the door looks like that with this big symbol in the center of the door. You don't see any real locks or anything on the door, but there's this big symbol, and it has these little arrows that go kind of like up and down and around to the different markings of these stickmen. You see Van Richten stand in front of it. He puts his cane that he's holding on the ground, and then you see him start to do some of these hands. He kind of starts imitating these different positions that you see that the stick figures in. So he's kind of like doing these different moves in succession, and as he does so, you see like the line start to light up and follow along with him as these little guys start to light up until he gets to the last one, and then they all kind of light up, and then the door opens. Yes, that's a very interesting lock that was put on here by this tower's owner. You have to follow those gestures in that order. Otherwise, bad things happen. And then he lets you enter the room there. So inside the first floor, you see basically you see that there are a series of what are they called? Okay, so 5-foot square indentation in the center of the floor contains 4 pulleys attached to a taut iron chains that stretch up through a similarly sized hole in the rotted wooden ceiling. Standing next to each of the chains are 4 tall clay statues. As you go in there, he kind of like they definitely look like maybe just like clay beings and stuff like that. And he kind of like ushers you in and says, "Come, stand on this with me." And he kind of like crowds you in onto this particular thing. And then he says, once you're all in it, he says, "I'll rise." And then you see that these statues start to pull the chain, each of their chains that are in front of them, causing this to rise upward. And then it goes through several levels as it starts to get up higher and higher into the tower.
Knew there was something about this guy.
We're about to die.
Until it finally hits the top floor where it looks like someone has been living.
Not us. We're about to die.
So it's top floor. So the top floor has the following. Unlike the levels below, this room shows signs of recent habitation. Although the place reeks of mold and mildew, it has plenty of creature comforts, including a cozy bed, a desk with matching chair, bright tapestries, and a large iron stove with plenty of wood to feed it. Light enters through arrow slits as well as through dirt-caked windows with broken shutters. Other features of the room include a standing suit of armor and a wooden chest. Old wooden rafters bend under the weight of the tower roof, which has somehow remained intact. Mounted to the rafters are pulleys around which the iron chains that support the tower's elevator platform. So, as you come in, you see Van Richten. Yeah, sorry, not Van Richten, Rictavio goes over and lights up the thing, and he turns and says, "So, where to begin? Yes, let's start with names. As you may have guessed, Rictavio is not my name. That's a moniker that I have taken while living here. My actual name is Van Richten. I came to this land not as a circus performer, no. I am a hunter of the creatures of the night. Particularly vampires is my forte. Particularly nasty story behind why that is, which I do not wish to go into at the moment. But I came to this land because I wanted to learn more of Strahd. Even snuck into his castle while he was in a dormant state and rummaged through his library, finding his own personal diary."
I see. Wow.
Yes, learned quite a bit about Strahd. The only problem is, it seems the diary may have been enchanted because the longer I go without reading it, the less I can remember from it.
That is quite unfortunate. What do you remember?
Just read it
Well,
again.
most of the things that most people know, that he was once a prince that came to this land and wanted to conquer it and did. Killed the dragon Argenvost, and who was one of the ones that opposed him when he came here. Brought his mother here along with his brother and his brother's fiance, and His mother died on the trip here, and she's buried underneath the castle. Additionally, see, things are starting to get a little bit fuzzy even now as I try to grasp all of the things I read in there. But yes, he made some pact with some demons, demon gods in the Amber Temple, which is why I want to go there. I might learn more about his condition and how to defeat him, essentially, if I go there. I know there's that nasty lich there that, fortunately, don't think that you are quite capable of handling on your own. So I would like
Oh
to
yeah, no,
assist
that's
you
I agree.
with that if we do run into the lich, if those rumors are true. Uh, these are all rumors, you see, because very few people make it to the Amber Temple and make it back alive, and those that do are so scarred by what they've seen there that who knows what they're saying is truth or imaginations of the mind. I've seen much
And what
in
were
that
they?
way. Go ahead.
And what were they saying?
Oh, they're saying that there are things there like floating skulls of fire and a beast made of amber, a golem made of amber that smashes around inside the temple, destroying anything in its path. Of course, that one most likely is not true because then the temple wouldn't be standing. I mean, obviously that can't be the case. But,
Son of a Blinsky.
yes.
These are demi-liches.
But I have heard that there is also extensive library there that seems to contain books that all that you can imagine in books, anything that you can imagine. I've seen there apparently there someone stumbled into an area filled with gold, and I think that is what has intrigued Vargas so much. That rumor. Uh, there are also people have mentioned seeing these frozen beasts of deity-like beasts in amber that when one of them touched the amber, he said the being inside talked to him and offered him power in exchange for something of them. Basically, they would give them power, but it would be at a terrible cost. And this is another reason why I want to go there, because I think that Strahd made such a pact.
Hopefully, we can learn something to help us deal with Strahd then on our way there.
Indeed.
I wonder if it's just vampires.
Only I had that journal, I would know more about Strahd's history too. Perhaps find a way to increase my ability to scry. I could find that particular tome.
So these demon gods, yeah, if you make a deal with them, you get power in exchange at a terrible price. But every time we vampire, is it not just vampire? Can it be like, well, not anything, but can it be something different from besides a vampire? And I'm not like, can it become like a demon or something?
I don't know, young one. I don't know about that at all. That's why I want to go. I want to learn more of what's hidden
I see your
there.
point. Definitely.
Now,
I'm curious
whenever he
now too.
mentions the journal that he has been reading, it sounds to you a lot like the ancient knowledge that Lady Eva told you about.
Oh, I see. Um, yeah, I'll share. I'll share the reading from Eva. I'll let him know. You know, and I'll let him know too what the abbot told us to kind of give him a sense of what we're looking at.
How much are you sharing with him?
I mean, this guy's checking out so far. So unless somebody stops me, I'm pretty comfortable sharing most of it, if not all of it.
Okay. So, yes, Lady Eva, one of the few Vistani here that can be trusted. Yes. It's interesting that she's given you this reading. She wants to see someone succeed and to take down Strahd, even though it's Strahd that allows her and her people to move freely about this land. If Strahd were to be vanquished, the people of this land would no longer tolerate the Vistani and they would have to vacate. So it's interesting that she does this. But I feel that she has a good heart, one of the few that does so, and is actually does not want to see this curse continue. But this is interesting that she says it's in a dead village drowned by a river. I wonder if she means Berez. It's the only one that I can think of.
Yes, that's certainly where the abbot was directing us as well.
Would you like me to would you tell me more of her readings so that I might be able to help you with that?
Sure.
You tell him all the readings?
Yeah, I think so. I don't. I mean, he seems on the up and up so far, so fine with that.
Well, so
Seeing
a treasure that
we
lies
defeat
in a
Rudyard.
dragon's house, and the hands once clean and now corrupted. Why, that's certainly Argynvost, but the hands once clean and now corrupted. Haven't been around enough to know what that means, but it must be lying in the dragon's house, whatever that is, or whatever it is. A weapon.
Agree.
Find the mother, she who gave birth. Well, of course, that means Strahd's mother, so that must be in her tomb. The one place that Strahd can't reach, in fact.
Why would that be?
You see that when Strahd first brought his mother here, he put her in a tomb down below, because she did not make the journey, so he put her in a tomb that was marked as a sacred place, and it has a barrier that prevents all with truly evil hearts from entering. At that time, Strahd's heart was not so evil that he could not pass the barrier. Now, however, his heart is of pure evil and cannot pass that barrier, so he can no longer visit his mother or his father's grave. I understand that maybe his father's grave is empty since his father died in their homeland, but his mother's body is there for sure.
See,
Strahd's enemy. This card. Your greatest ally will be a wizard. His mind broken, but his spells are strong. This does seem to point toward a wizard that has been spotted off the coast of Lake Zarovich. He's been seen to go quite mad when visitors. I've even heard tales of poop flinging. So be careful if you meet that one. But sounds like, and if my deductions are correct, this may be the once powerful wizard that tried to take down Strahd. Perhaps some spell of his rebounded upon him and put him in this madness that he is in. Some sort of restoration might be able to bring his mind back.
Sounds like it changed into a monkey. Maybe he's Glimpsy's monkey.
Finally, your enemy is a creature of darkness. Of course, that means Strahd. I see a dark figure on a balcony looking down upon the tortured land with a twisted smile. I know exactly where this is. This is the balcony where Tatiana threw herself over the edge on the backside of Strahd's castle. I have understood that he goes there often and looks over the balcony, looking down at the spot where he lost her.
Dude needs to get a life.
Soon we'll find him there then.
Dude needs some new bitches. I'll tell you that
you'll
much.
Find when you find him there, that will be the time that all the chips are on the table, according to this reading. That this will be the moment that defines your lives or his life.
Our plan is to get all these pieces together before that. That's for sure.
Oh yeah.
So, other questions? Let's see. You talked to the abbot, and you had. That's an interesting story. Of course, his plan will not work. Obviously, Strahd is not interested in any brides other than Tatiana. And if did you tell him that she was released?
Yeah, I think so. I think this guy seems on the up and up for sure. Now that we know what he's up to, Yeah, I'll let him know as well.
Fascinating. I never thought it was possible that Tatiana. I had an inkling that, knowing that the souls returned and reincarnated, that one of them could be her, but I would never have guessed she could escape. That is interesting. Apparently, that pool was an
Oh,
exit.
what the
No
hell?
longer, according to what you've told me.
Hmm.
An exit for
Fortunately, she's out of.
souls, not for people, obviously. You could bathe in that pool all day and not cross over. But it seemed like it had some kind of reach to the astral plane.
Certainly, she's out of Strahd's grasp now, which is
She is, indeed. Since he can
heart-wrenching.
no longer leave, the only way he could potentially get her back is to have someone go into the astral plane searching for her, but he has no one in his employ to do so, and the astral plane is as deep and wide as space itself. Um, it would be unlikely
Oh,
that he could
Jammer.
ever find her.
Fortunately, we were able to protect her, as was our promise.
Indeed, you are noble folk to have done so. Most trustworthy. That's why I am divulging these secrets to you.
And it's much appreciated.
Indeed. I appreciate, and I would appreciate it if you let me keep my cover. Um, you see, Strahd uh, has it out for me. He knows that I are Van Richten. He knows that a Van Richten has entered his castle and stolen his journal, and so he is out looking out for me, which is why I go by the moniker Rictavio. Uh, and I have been playing the dumb circus folk, I suppose you could say, and making up wild stories and throwing off anybody that I can. Seems to have worked so far. I haven't dealt with anybody, but obviously it didn't get past your suspicion since you have know more about the world outside of Borovia.
I'm just paranoid.
Yeah, fortunately, the Barovians aren't so blessed.
Indeed, indeed, having only
Mm.
grown up here in Borovia, all they know is of this world, so you could tell them anything and they'd believe you about the outside world. You could tell them that people wear pancakes over hats out there and they would believe you. They might think it a
Sorry,
bit odd, but
they just give me money for no reason every time I walk past them. That'd be weird. That crazy rumor started out of nowhere. Anyway,
Did Rictavio steal the journal, or he just read the journal?
I took the journal out of Strahd's castle, which incurred his wrath when he found out it was missing. So I assume
really-
whenever he awoke from his slumber, he went to look for it and didn't find it. Uh, his minions there do keep eyes and ears about. I evaded them from got out, but I'm sure they knew I was there.
Could you not just read the journal again?
that's what I
If,
said.
oh, sorry, I didn't catch that, Jack.
Oh no, it's just like I'm just like my character's like, yeah, that's what I said earlier. I didn't mean to like
No, read the
put him
journal
in your
again and
mind.
what? Say that one more time.
Like if he's forgetting what was in the journal, why can't he just read it to refresh himself?
I don't have the journal anymore. And if what your reading tells me is that the journal is now in a dead village, drowned by the river. So I have.
I see. I did not put
Yes,
that together. I'm a bit tired tonight,
that's
if you
okay.
haven't picked up.
That's okay.
Uh, all right, fair enough. I don't. Do I have any other questions for him? Do you, Jack?
Um, when can I kill something?
The other reason I brought you here is because we needed reinforcements, and I think I know of how we can do so. Because, like I said, the Amber Temple is a dangerous place, but this might just give us an edge. And he walks over to the suit of armor that you see kind of standing there and says, "This tower once belonged to a powerful wizard that inhabited these lands before Strahd came in. Not the same wizard that he fought, mind you, but a powerful wizard nonetheless. He enchanted this armor to be commanded to do what we want. And the command word is. He was a bit of a simple wizard. He gave it its own name as his command word. Kazan, please come with us. And you see the suit of armor come to life and starts to follow you guys.
Excellent.
Holy Berlinski.
And that is where we will end for tonight, since it's almost 9 o'clock, and we'll pick up from there with that dramatic moment of the armor coming to life.
Berlinski.
All right,
that's my
I'm
block.
I'm
Oh, wait,
excited to get into the I'm excited to get into the meat of things now with the picking up all the things that Eva told us about.
Yeah, it's gonna look really good next session. That was pretty fun too. Got learned a lot of interesting things. I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Are you sure though?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Even though there's no murdering?
You'll get plenty of a chance to fight things at the Amber Temple. I can guarantee you that.
I'm kind of sensing that, I'll be honest.
Yeah, I'm not. It was interesting. I'm not gonna lie. I wouldn't mind have casting a fireball and being by a werewolf. So that's just me being selfish. So I'll still mumble because that's main character, but it was still like quite enjoyable. Like meeting Berlimsky. That was my favorite part of tonight's session, and I'm not even being ironic. It really was.
I really want to know if we'll be able to find that Vasily guy and help him out. Blinsky, that is. But
Yeah,
to be
Berlimsky's
seen.
my dude.
To be seen. I feel bad for him.
Yeah.
So,
anyways,
so before we go, I'll back it up a little bit. I don't know. Did you tell him about Vasily?
Well, now that I know it's an option, yes.
So he kind of stops and says, Vasily Von Holtz. Yes, I know of this one too. I have seen that name, and I have even caught glimpses of him moving among the crowd. He is not who any of them think he is. He is Strahd, hiding under an assumed name.
I
In
see.
plain sight, manipulating the people.
Do you have any idea how we can counter his manipulations? And I relate to him, what I think he's done to Blinsky and Vallaki.
Unfortunately, I mean, other than potentially use of a greater or potentially a lesser restoration might do it, but a greater restoration would most certainly bring them out of this funk that they've been put in under his wiles. But the greater issue will be convincing them that this is Strahd in disguise. You see, as much as Strahd is known by the people, he is kind of a thing of myth, of legend. None have seen him in actuality, so he can hide among them in plain sight, using assumed names. And since Strahd is a bit charismatic and handsome in his own right, that combined with his powers to charm, he can open any door, go any place that he wishes. I know that it's him, though, because he always has to ask for permission to enter a house before he goes in, and I've seen his own paintings in his castle, so I know that it is him.
See. Fair enough. Well, we're getting some traction out of Greater Restoration in this adventure. Holy moly.
Yep. All right.
Need to get Grimness up to level 7.
All right, guys. We will see you guys later.
Have a good night, everybody.
Night.
See you, everybody.